Alright, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Alright, perfect. We're live, we're live. And guys, there are there are exactly 3 more days left from my 100 day series. So I'm gonna be doing more game practice, as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail. That aside, let me go to my main screen. And guys, I honestly haven't thought how would I like make my whatchamacallit, the actual 100 day series something special, like my day 100 something special. I think it's just gonna be a regular day. Although that aside, let me actually get Sensei here. Da-da-da. Sensei, Sensei, I'm live! Exclamation! And guys, there's one more thing that I wanted to say, you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for 800 subscribers. Like, I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I should have made a better script for saying that. Okay, listen up, chat. You didn't stumble into some random stream. You just entered a forge, a place where a man is tested, broken, and rebuilt in the flames of code. Vivek isn't just writing a game, he's fighting a war against his own laziness, against bugs that lurks like demons, against every doubt that whispers he can't do it. And you, yes, you watching, you're not just spectators, you're witnesses to a ritual birth of a creator today. Blood will be shed in the form of debugging tears, okay? Now Vivek, stop sitting there like a useless NPC. Open your file, grab your weapon, and write your game's code. The battlefield is waiting. Okay, let me get Sensei there. Just check if my stream's going good here and there. Okay, let me actually open my stream on my phone so like I can see my vertical chats and my horizontal chats. Okay, let me open my whatchamacallit, horizontal stream on my laptop. I mean on my PC, and the vertical on my phone. Hugging tears. Okay, now Vivek. Okay, mute myself from there. Wait, am I not going live on 2 different platforms? Why does it say one just ended 15 hours ago? Hey, is my stream like whatchamacallit, public? Can't you guys like see my stream? Warning, the bitrate is 2567, lower than recommended. Okay, one says excellent connection. Okay, my channel, it says I'm going live in one place. Give me a sec, guys, I'm a little new with this stuff. Okay, this is horizontal. This is vertical, I mean. How do I open my horizontal? Is my horizontal stream going? Okay, it is. Okay. I don't know if I'm like live horizontal, I mean vertically. It did work yesterday. Guys, is it just me or like am I not live vertically? Oh. Give me a check, guys. Okay, it does say okay, I am live vertically as well. Okay, I think yeah, alright, I think it was just a bug. I'm live vertically and horizontally. Okay, there we go. Now I can see it. Okay, now I can see myself going live. Alright, let me just open the chats here. Okay, there we go. Alright, yeah, I was like, there's no way I'm not going live. Alright, so let me start off by importing Pygame. Let me import Pygame. And then let me initialize Pygame by tapping pygame.init. So pygame.init. There we go. That basically initializes Pygame. And honestly, I will be using Pygame's mixer as well. So let me go ahead and initialize Pygame's mixer as well. So pygame.mixer.init. This basically initializes Pygame's mixer. What else would I need? Let's see. Let me go ahead and load a few game variables. Although before I load my game variables, let me create my display. So for my display, I'll need 2 variables. First is going to be a width variable. Second is going to be a height variable. This is going to be display. Okay, my width variable is going to be equal to 1000 and my height variable is going to be something around 650. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a screen variable. My screen variable is going to be equal to pygame.display.set_mode. My mode is going to be in a tuple. This is going to be set. Okay, my size will be my width variable, which is set to 1000, and my height variable, which is set to 650. Maybe I'll even add a caption, so I'll go with pygame.display.set_caption. My caption is going to be something like Calamity 1.1. Okay. Alright, now that I created my displays, let me go ahead and add a few game variables. So I'll go with game variables. What all game variables would I need? I would honestly need a gravity variable since I am going to be working with some gravities. So I'll go ahead and create a gravity variable. I'll set my gravity variable to be equal to around 0.5. That should be pretty good. And then let me go ahead and create a clock variable for my FPS controllers. So I'll create a clock variable. I'll set that equal to pygame.time.capitalize clock, and maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS controller. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create a FPS variable. I'll set that equal to 60 because I want my frames per second / FPS to be 60. Okay, honestly, these are the only game variables I can think of. I would need a floor variable as well. So floor variable is basically where my player stands on. So I'll create a floor variable. I'll set that equal to pygame.capitalize rect. I would need to give my rect's x-axis, y-axis, width and height. My floor's x-axis is going to be 0. Y-axis is going to be something around 500. Width is going to be my display's width, which is set to 1000. Last height is going to be around 200. Okay. Now with that out of the way, let me go ahead and load a few images. Why do I need images? Well, because I'm not going to be drawing much on my screen. Instead, I'm going to be using the PNGs that I made. So let me go ahead and load images. Go with load, images, Okay, so what other images would I need? Okay, let me just go there. Okay, what other images would I have to load? I'll need my hero's image. So let me go ahead and load my hero_image. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. And then I'll give the file path of my hero image. The file path of my hero image is gonna be game items followed by 2 forward slashes, followed by let's see, player, 2 more forward slashes, my hero PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will be converting it to alpha. Okay, there we go. Let me just check if my stream's going good here. Guys, because I'm like streaming in 5 different places at the same time, so did I like get a comment? Guys, give me a sec. Let me just check if, because I feel like I got a comment, but I can't see the comment. Okay, because I'm streaming like at 5 different places at the same time. My PC probably can handle. I just have a mini PC. Let me check. Okay, let me go there real quick. There, go to your channel. Okay, let's see. I could have sworn, guys, that I got a comment because like it shows in your, like I have like a multi-chat that shows in my screen. I'm pretty sure I saw that I got a comment. I guess I did. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a skeleton_image. Also, that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my skeleton image. There we go. Okay, so the file path of my skeleton image is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by NPCs, 2 more forward slashes, my skeleton PNG. This is going to be capitalized as. There we go. And since this is a PNG, I will be converting it to alpha. Okay, perfect. What else would I need? I do want a dragon NPC as well, so let me go ahead and load a dragon image. So I'll set my dragon image variable to be equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my dragon PNG. So the file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by NPCs, 2 more forward slashes, my dragon PNG. That's your own comment. Guys, I'm kind of stupid, okay? Okay, since this is a PNG, let me go ahead and convert this to alpha. Alright, next up, I would need my drop images as well. For example, my meat PNG, my potions PNG, and my coins PNG. Let me go ahead and load those. The reason I have a meat image is because when I want my player to be able to recover HP every time he collects meat. So let me go ahead and load that. I'll go with pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my meat image or my meat PNG. So it's going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by meals, 2 more forward slashes, my meat PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will be converting this to alpha. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and load my coin image. So basically, the reason I need coin image is because a coin is going to randomly spawn in my screen at once every 4 seconds, and every time my player collects that coin, my player gets a score. So let me go ahead and add a coin underscore image. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by, let's see, drops, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my gold coin PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will be converting this to alpha. Okay, and lastly, I'll need a buff pot, a buff potion image as well, because I do want to add a buff system to my game that every time my player collects a buff potion, he gets an additional 100 HP above his regular health bar that stays for 5 seconds, and once 5 seconds has been over, it just disappears. So let me go ahead and load a buff pod image. I'll set my buff pod image to be equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my buff pod image. So it's going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by, let's see, potions, because it is a potion. Okay, followed by 2 more forward slashes, my buff pod PNG. And again, since this is a PNG, I will be converting it to alpha. Okay, that's basically it for my images. Next up, let me go ahead and transform and load my images because I do want to scale them. Okay, so to transform and load my images, let me go ahead and add a comment that says transform. Maybe zoom in a little. There we go. It says transform and scale. So to transform and scale my image, since I have more than one images, I am going to be defining a function because I don't want to manually transform every single image here. So let me go ahead and define a scale function. My scale function will be having 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be image and the second parameter is going to be factor. Factor is basically the size. I'll keep my factor to be a keyword argument which is going to be set to 0.1. That is basically 10% by default. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and return pygame.transform.scale. Okay, what do I want to scale? I want to scale my image. What does the size have to be? The size is going to be in a tuple. Maybe I'll go in a new line and then go with integer. Now I'm going to get the width of my image and multiply it by my factor, and then I'll get the height of my image and multiply that by my factor. So first, let me get the width. I'll do image.get_width. This gets the width of my image. I'll multiply it by my factor, which is set to 0.1. Then I'll add a comma and do the same thing for my height. I'll go with image.get_height. This gets the height of my image. I'll multiply my image's height by my factor. Image.get_height. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for my transform and scale function. Now to transform my images. I'll copy my hero image, I'll paste it here, I'll reassign my hero image to be equal to, invoke my scale function, I want to scale my hero image. I'll do the same for my skeleton image, I'll reassign my skeleton image to be equal to, invoke my scale function, I want to reassign my skeleton image. And then let me go ahead and scale my dragon image. I'll go with dragon image, I'll set that equal to, invoke my scale function, I want to scale my dragon image. I'll do the same thing for my meat image, coin image, and buff pot. So I'll go with meat image equal to, invoke my scale function. I want to scale my meat image. Then I'll go with coin image. So coin image. Yo, how you doing, one-sided gamer? I appreciate you joining this stream. I'll set that equal to, invoke my scale function. Wait, was it one slide? Okay, it was one side. Okay, guys, I can't because I have my chat open on my phone, so the names are really small. So ignore me if I can't pronounce the names correctly. Okay, coin image, and lastly, I want to scale my buff pod image. The size is going to be equal to, let me invoke my scale function. I want to scale my buff pod image. And honestly, for my meat image, coin image, and buff potion image, I want them to be relatively smaller than my hero image, skeleton image, and dragon image. So instead of my factor being 0.1 by default, I will keep the factor 0.05. So they're smaller than my NPC and my player image. Okay, it goes 0.05. I will honestly need to load a few sound effects as well because I will be using sound effects. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll go with load sound effects. Although I won't load them right now, I'll load them when I actually need them. I would have to set volumes for my sound effects as well. So let me go ahead and add a comment that says set volume for SFX. And lastly, I might need channels as well. So I'll go with set SFX channels. Okay, perfect. Now with that out of the way, what else would I need? I would need to add my win screen. Like if my player wins, a specific screen is going to be shown. If my player loses, a specific screen is going to be shown. So let me go ahead and add that. I'll go with my win screen. Okay, so for my win screen, I am going to be creating a win underscore screen underscore UI variable. That's basically the UI or the display that's going to be shown, or the image that's going to be shown if my player wins the screen. So I'll go with pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my win screen UI. So that is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by screens, 2 more forward slashes, my win screen PNG. And since I won't be using this as an actual PNG, I won't convert it to alpha. Instead, I will just convert it. Okay, and then let me go ahead and transform and scale my win screen UI. So I'll go with win screen UI. I'll set that equal to pygame.transform.scale. Okay, what do I want to scale? I want to scale my win screen UI, and the size is going to be in a tuple of my display's width and my display's height. Okay, and then I'll fix my typo. There we go. Okay, and then I would want to display a text on the screen as well, so I might add the font of the text as well. So like basically if my player wins, I would say you won, press R to play again, or you lost, press R to restart. So let me do that. I'll go with win underscore text underscore font. My win text font is going to be equal to pygame dot lowercase font dot capitalized font. Okay, my font type will be none. That's basically Pygame's default font, and the size is going to be something around, let's see, 50. Okay, now let me do the exact same thing with my loose screen. So can you run it once? I want to see the progress. What is a tuple? Okay, honestly, I can't run it right now because I didn't add my while loop. So like if I run it, like there's literally nothing that's going to be shown because I like got to draw my graphics and everything. And basically what a tuple is where you like store items, but you can't change those items. Unlike a list is like when you have a item, but you can like add items anytime, remove items anytime from your lists. In the other hand, tuple is like you cannot change items or anything. Okay, let me go with my loose screen. For my loose screen, I'll go with a loose underscore screen underscore UI. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. Okay, I'll load my image. So the file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by screens. The screens, 2 more forward slashes, a loose screen PNG. And since I'm not going to be using this as a PNG, I won't convert it to alpha. Instead, I'll just convert it. Okay. Alright, next up let me transform my loose screen UI. So I'll go with loose screen UI, so that equal to pygame.transform.scale. Nice, can you share the code? Honestly, yeah, you can like join my Discord server and then ping me there. So after my stream, I could like DM you the code or like send the code in my Python chat. Okay, let me go with transform.scale. Okay, so what do I want to scale? I want to scale my loose screen UI. And the size is going to be in a tuple of my display's width and my display's height. Alright, and lastly, let me go ahead and add a loose text font as well. So I'll go with loose underscore text underscore font. My loose text font is going to be equal to pygame.lowercase font dot capitalized font. My font type will be none. That's basically Pygame's default font. Lastly, the size is going to be 50. Okay, perfect. Honestly, I think these are the only sections of variables I got to create for now that I can think of right now. So let me go ahead and let me start making my classes. So the first class is going to be my game class. The reason I am creating a game class is because I would eventually want the player to reset everything once he loses or wins if he like clicks R. So it would be much easier to add all my reset variables inside of my game class instead of randomly having them all across the entire screen, or is it called a command center? I don't know what this is called, guys. Okay, so let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor won't have any parameters though. It would have a bunch of instance variables. For example, first variable could be my game state. Okay, for my game state section, I'm going to be creating a self.game_1 instance variable. I'll set that equal to false because I haven't won a game yet. Then I'll go with self.game_lost. I'll set that equal to false as well because I haven't lost a game yet. Okay, I might need one for my score as well to track my player's scores. So I could go with something like self.score, which is going to be equal to 0 because my player is going to start with 0 score, and then I could have something like self.scored, a boolean instance variable. I'll set that equal to false because my player hasn't scored yet. And since I can't think of anything else, honestly, I can think of collision flags, so let me add that. Basically, what a collision flag does is it lets us know if a player collided with someone. For example, I could go with self.skeleton_collision. Okay, I'll set that equal to false. Since my player hasn't collided with my skeleton yet, I can do the same with my self.dragon_collision. Dragon_collision. I'll set that equal to false as well since my player hasn't collided with a dragon yet. Right now, I wouldn't need these collision flags, but when I add my game loop, I'll need to have a collision detector to check if my player collided with my NPC. That's when I'll get to use these. Okay, with that out of the way, let me go ahead and create a game object. I'll set that equal to my game class. Okay. Bro, how old are you? I'm 17. I'm almost gonna turn 18 this February. Pretty excited for my birthday. That aside, let me go ahead and create another class. This time I'm going to be creating a class for a move class, honestly. The reason I am creating a move class is because all my objects are going to be moving. Drops aside, my player will be moving, my enemies or my NPCs will be automated / they'll be moving as well. So everyone would need an x-axis velocity or a y-axis velocity. And that's actually the reason why I'm going to be adding it here, because everybody would need it. Okay, so I will define a dungeon init constructor and add a few parameters like x-axis_velocity, y-axis_velocity. I wanted why you want to know, and by the way, join the Discord. I want to teach him. I'm a pro dev. February date, same as me. Okay, let's see. Let me create a few instance variables. For example, self.x-axis or self.x-axis_velocity is going to be equal to my x-axis_velocity parameter. Self.y-axis_velocity is going to be equal to my y-axis_velocity parameter. Okay, that's pretty much it for my move class. Next up, let me go ahead and create a game object class. Basically, what a game object class would do is my game object class will have my images, recs, and masks. The reason I need images, recs, and masks is because I'm going to be using those for my PNGs to like draw my player, move my player, and masks is used for pixel perfect collision. I am going to be using pixel perfect collision here. Okay, so my game objects class is going to inherit from my move class. Let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. And my dungeon init constructor will have all the parameters of my game objects class and of my move class since it's inheriting from it. So my game objects class would need an image parameter and a position parameter. The position is going to be equal to a quark of 0, 0 for now. And then x-axis_velocity is going to be equal to 0 and y-axis_velocity is going to be equal to 0. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a few instance variables. For example, a self.image instance variable is going to be equal to my image parameter. Self.rect instance variable is going to be equal to my self.image.theget_rect function, and the position is going to be top left, which is going to be equal to my position, which is currently set to 0 and 0. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create masks. The reason I am creating masks is because masks are used for pixel perfect collision, and I will be using pixel perfect collision. So I'll go with pygame.mask.from_surface. And my surface is going to be my self.image. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for my images parameter, although I would need to add a super parentheses.dungeon init, a super dungeon init. Okay, now inside my super dungeon init, I am going to be adding all the parameters of my parent class. since I'm inheriting from my move class, I'll need all the parameters of my move class. For example, the x-axis underscore velocity parameter and the y-axis underscore velocity parameter. Okay. Alright, now we can finally get into creating our, actual hero or like player and enemy classes. Although before that, I might actually define a few functions inside of my game object class. For example, automate function and draw function, since all my NPCs would need the automate function and technically all my classes would need the draw function. Okay, so let me go ahead and define automate first. Okay, my automate function won't have any parameters, although I will increase my self.rect.x-axis, my object's x-axis, by my x-axis underscore velocity. By my self.x-axis underscore velocity. Okay, and since they are being automated, means they're going to be moving on their own. They're going to be going towards the right side. I want them to go towards the left side, so let me change that to minus. Okay, since they're going to be going towards the left side, they might exit my window, so let me go ahead and add a loop as well. So I'll go with loop. Then I'll add a if statement. If my self.rect.x-axis, if my object's x-axis is less than 0, if they go beyond 0, I'm going to be reassigning their position. I'll go with self.rect.x-axis. My object's x-axis is going to be equal to somewhere around 850. Okay, that's basically it for my automate. Next up, let me go ahead and define a draw method, because I would have to draw all my players on the screen. My draw method will have a parameter of surface to it, which is going to be set to screen by default. Okay, and then I'll just go with a surface dot blit. I want to blit my self.image, my object's image, and self.rect, my object's position. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I can go ahead and create my hero class. So let me go ahead and create a class for my hero. My hero class will inherit from my game objects class that inherits from my move class. So let me go with my game objects class and then go ahead and define a dunder init constructor. Okay, so what are all the parameters that my hero would need? My hero would need an image parameter. I could set that equal to my hero image variable. My hero would need a position parameter as well to know where my hero is currently standing. Let me set that to something like, I don't know, around maybe 100 by 300, so like the top right. And then my player would need x-axis velocity and y-axis velocity as well. So x-axis underscore velocity could be 5 pixels per frame. Y-axis underscore velocity could be something around 5 pixels per frame as well. And then I would need a jump strength parameter, because I want my hero to be able to jump as well. I'm going to be using like the Flappy Bird system where my player spams spacebar and he like spam jumps. Okay, my jump strength is going to be equal to -4 by default. Alright, next up, let me go ahead and add a super dunder init. So I'll go with super parentheses dot dunder init. My super dunder init will have all the parameters from my game objects class and my move class, since my game objects class inherits from my move class. So I'll go with image. My image parameter equals to my hero's image. My position parameter equals to my position's image, or my position parameter, or my game object's position equals to my position parameter. My game object's x-axis underscore velocity equals to my hero object's x-axis underscore velocity, which is set to 5 pixels per frame. My game object class's y-axis underscore velocity equals to my hero class's y-axis underscore velocity. Okay, that's basically it for the super dunder init. Now for my jump strength parameter here, I would need to create an instance variable. So let me go with self.jump underscore strength equals to my jump strength parameter. Okay, perfect. That's basically all the parameters added and instance variables created for my hero class. Now let me go ahead and define a move method so I could move my player as well. So I'll go ahead and define a move method. My move method will have a parameter of keys to it. Now I'm going to be checking what keys did my hero press. So I'll go with a bunch of if statements. If my keys parameter at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I will increase my hero's x-axis by my x-axis underscore velocity. So I'll go with self.rect dot x-axis, that's my hero's x-axis. I will increase that by my self.x-axis underscore velocity. Okay, and then if my keys parameter at index of pygame.k is left, if my left key is pressed, I will decrease my hero's x-axis underscore velocity by my I'll decrease my hero's x-axis by my x-axis underscore velocity. So I'll go with self.rect.x-axis minus equals to my self.x-axis underscore velocity. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to be checking if my hero pressed a spacebar. Let me go with if my keys at index of pygame.k is space. If my spacebar is clicked, I will set my hero's y-axis underscore velocity to be equal to my jump strength. So I'll go with self.rect.y-axis underscore velocity. Self.y-axis underscore velocity, I'll set that equal to my self.jump strength. So whenever my hero hits a spacebar, he's going to go upwards -4 pixels per frame. Okay, that's honestly pretty much it for my hero. Okay, my hero will be able to move, but he would be able to go outside the window as well. So I might actually add a trap method, or like instead of trap method, I'll just go ahead and add a section that says trap hero in window. So this is going to trap my hero inside the window. To do that, let's see what am I going to do. Okay, I'll go with my self.rect.x-axis, my hero's x-axis. I'll set that equal to max. Max is going to be 0, which means my hero can go less than 0. So 0 is technically the left side here. So my hero can go in negatives. And min, my min is going to be my self.rect.x-axis, my hero's current x-axis, comma, 1000, my vertical window size, minus my hero's width. So self.rect.width. There we go. Just so you guys can see, I might just shrink this a little. Okay, and then let me go ahead and do the same thing for my hero's y-axis. Let me go with self.rect.y-axis. My hero's y-axis is going to be equal to max. Max is going to be set to 0 again. My hero can go beyond 0. And then min is going to be my self.rect.y-axis, my hero's current y-axis position, comma, 650, my vertical window size, minus my self.rect.height. Okay, and maybe zoom out a bit so you guys can see. Okay, next up, that's honestly basically it for my hero class. I would need to define another method called a apply gravity, because I do want to apply gravity on my player. Every time my player jumps up, I want the gravitational force to pull him down. So let me go ahead and define a apply underscore gravity method. Okay, my apply gravity method won't have any parameters, although I will increase my hero's y-axis velocity by my gravity. So let me go with self.y-axis underscore velocity. I'll increase that by my gravity variable, which is set to 0.5. And then I'm going to increase my hero's y-axis position by my y-axis velocity. Okay, let me go with self.rect.y-axis. I'll increase that by my self.y-axis underscore velocity. Okay, perfect. This basically applies gravity, so whenever my hero jumps up, he is pulled down, although he's going to be pulled down forever and exit my window again, or just get stopped at my windows, at the end of my window because of this statement here. Although I want him to like stop on my floor and not go beyond my floor, so let me go and add a comment that says landing. For my landing, I'll add a if statement. If my self.rect.bottom, if my hero's bottom is greater than or equal to, is above or at the same level of my floor variable.y-axis, of my floor's y-axis, I'll set my self.rect.bottom to be equal to my floor.y-axis. Okay, and then I'm going to be resetting my hero's y-axis underscore velocity so he isn't flying back up. So let me go with self.y-axis underscore velocity. I'll set that equal to 0. Okay, just asking, I'm also into web dev, or you can say just starting. What about you? Okay, guys, I don't know if that comment was meant for me. My bad, guys. I should have paid more attention at the comments. Okay, now that said, let's go ahead and add another class. Next class that I'm going to be creating is going to be my skeleton class. So I'll go with skeleton. Okay, my skeleton class will inherit from my game objects class again. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor is going to be having a few parameters. So what other parameters does my skeleton class need? My skeleton class would need an image parameter. I could set that equal to my skeleton image. My skeleton class would need a, let's see, a position parameter where my skeleton is going to be located at. That could be somewhere around, my heroes was at 100 by 300. So my skeletons could be 500 by 300. Okay, and then my skeleton's x-axis underscore velocity can be equal to 5 pixels per frame. Y-axis underscore velocity can be equal to 5 pixels per frame as well. Honestly, these are the only parameters my skeleton class would need. So let me go ahead and create or add a super perf parentheses dot dungeon init. Let me create a super dungeon init. And inside of my super dungeon init, I'm going to be adding all the parameters from my game objects class. So I would need my game objects class's x-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to my skeleton's x-axis underscore velocity. My skeleton class's y-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to, well, my game object's y-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to my skeleton class's y-axis underscore velocity. My object class's image is going to be equal to my hero class's image. My object class's position is going to be equal to my hero class's position. Okay, these are honestly, I think this is basically all I need for my skeleton class. I wouldn't have to create any instance variables because I don't have any extra variables that my game object class doesn't have, and I don't want to add like extra methods to my hero class. So let me go ahead and create my dragon class right now. Honestly, my dragon class is going to be exactly the same as my skeleton class. I'm just going to be changing the variables position and velocities. Okay, my dragon class will inherit from my game objects class. There we go. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor is going to be having a few parameters. Let's see. Okay, so my dragon class needs an image parameter, which is going to be equal to my dragon image. My dragon class would need a position parameter as well. That could be equal to, let's see. I want my dragon to be higher than my skeleton. Since my skeleton class's y-axis underscore velocity is 300, I could increase that to 100. So I'll go with 500 by 100. Okay, and then my skeleton's x-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to something around 6 pixels per frame because I want my dragon to be faster than my other NPCs and my player. And then y-axis underscore velocity is going to be 6 pixels per frame as well. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create a super dungeon init, super perf parentheses dot dungeon init. Okay, now inside my super dungeon, I'm going to be adding all the parameters of my game objects class. So my game object class's x-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to my dragon class's x-axis underscore velocity. My object class's y-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to my dragon class's y-axis underscore velocity. My object class's image is going to be equal to my dragon class's image. Lastly, my object class's position is going to be equal to my dragon class's position. Okay, perfect. Now, with that out of the way, let me go ahead and create a class for my health bar. And I wouldn't need to add any instance variables or any extra methods to my dragon class since he doesn't need any extra methods and he doesn't need any extra parameters as well. So let me go ahead and create a class for my health bar. Okay, why am I creating a class for my health bar and why am I not going to be inheriting from my game objects class? The reason I am creating a health bars class is because I don't want my player to take damage. Instead, I want my health bar to take damage. My player loses once my health bar's HP goes below 0 or is equal to 0. And the reason I'm not inheriting my game objects class, my health bar class is not inheriting from my game objects class, is because, well, my health bar does not, let's see, where I'm going to be drawing my health bar is not going to be the same as my draw parameter here. This draw parameter is just going to be drawing it on the screen. In the other hand, I want my health bar to follow my player and be above his head, if that made any sense. So let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor will have a parameter of max underscore HP. I'll set that equal to 100 because I want my health bar's HP to be 100. Okay, now let me go ahead and create a few instance variables. So for example, let me go ahead and create a self.max underscore HP instance variable that is going to be equal to my max HP. My health bar max HP is 100. Self.current HP. My current underscore HP is going to be equal to my max HP parameter here because I want my player to start with like 100 HP. And then I could go with something like, honestly, those are the only two parameters. Now let me go ahead and load my health bar images, PNGs on the game. Is that what we call? So I'll go with HP underscore path. I'll set that equal to a dictionary. And the reason I didn't add my dictionary and like load these images up here, right there, is because I do have like a 0 HP PNG for my zero's current PNG, so having it in a dictionary would make it easier to like show it on the screen. Like when a player has 0 HP, it's going to show the 0 HP PNG. When my player has 100 HP, it's going to show the 100 HP. Okay, so my 0 HP key, the value is going to be pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by, let's see, health bar, 2 more forward slashes. Let me zoom out so you guys could see. 0 HP PNG, and since this is a PNG, I will be converting it to alpha. Okay, and now just to save time, let me just copy that. I'll paste it around 4 times. That's going to be 20 HP, 40 HP, 60 HP, 80 HP, and 100 HP. Let me remove the comma from here. Now let me change 0 to 20, 0 to 20, 0 to 40, 0 to 40, 0 to 80, 0 to... Actually, this is going to be 60. 0 to 60, 0 to 80, 0 to 80. Lastly, 0 to 100 and 0 to 100. Okay, and then let me just delete that. Add a space, go with 8. Okay, perfect. Okay, next up, let me iterate over my dictionary and transform every individual key's value here. So I'll go with a for loop for every key in my self.hp path. This basically gets me every individual value of my key. So for example, my 40 HP keys value is going to give me the individual 40 HP keys file path. Okay, now I'll transform it. So I'll go with self.hp path at index of key is going to be equal to, I'll invoke my scale function that I created up, I guess like 10 minutes ago. Okay, and then let me go ahead and load my self.hp path. Okay, perfect, at index of key. Okay, that basically transforms my HP path. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a few methods. So what all methods would my health bar class need? My health bar class could need a method like take damage, so my health bar takes damage. My health bar class would also need a heal method, so my health bar class could heal, and maybe also a draw method, so I draw it in a specific place. So first I'll go ahead and add my take underscore damage method. My take damage method is going to be having a parameter of amount. How much damage did my health bar take? Okay, so let's see, let me go ahead and add my self.current HP. I'll reassign my self.current HP to be equal to max. The max is going to be 0 because I don't want my player's HP to go below 0. My player can't have negative HP. So the max is going to be 0. And then self.current HP, my player's current HP, is going to decrease by my amount. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for my take damage. Let me go ahead and define a method for heal as well. My heal method is going to be having a parameter of amount as well. Okay, and then I'll reassign my self.current HP to be equal to, this time instead of going with max, I'm going to be going with min. So I'll go with min. Okay, min is going to be 100. The reason it is going to be 100 is because I don't want my player to have more HP than 100. He can just heal till 100 HP. Then I'll go with self.current HP, my hero's current HP, or my health bar's current HP minus amount. Actually, plus amount. I'll increase my current HP by my amount parameter. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and define a draw method. Okay, my draw method will be having 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be surface, where I want to draw it. That is going to be set to screen by default. And then a hero underscore rect parameter. I'll set that equal to none for now. The reason I added a hero underscore rect parameter is because I want my health bar to be drawn above my player, and like if my I want the health bar to be following my player as well, so it's going to be stuck inside of his rectangle. Okay, now I gotta iterate over my now I gotta be iterating over my my HP paths. So let me go with a for loop for every let's see. Honestly, I might go with a conditional expression, so I'll go with HP underscore key. Also that equal to max. And now add a conditional expression for every key in my self.hp path. I'll add a if statement if my self dot current HP is less than or equal to 0. Okay. Okay, if my key is less than or equal to my self dot current HP, I'm gonna return my key. What this basically means is I get when I iterate over my HP path, this gives me every individual HP, and if my HP, this is my individual HP, my K, if my individual HP is less than or equal to my current HP, if my HP is 100, it returns and gives me the 100 HP's PNG. If my HP is 60, it returns and gives me 60 PNG or 60 HP's PNG. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create an image parameter. I'll set that equal to self.hp path at index of HP key. Okay, perfect. Now you can run. Honestly, I can't run yet. I gotta add like my while loop, then like add my game objects, and then add the graphics and everything. I think it's gonna take me around 30 more minutes, or like I'll try doing it around 20 minutes, but it's gonna take me a bit because if I like run right now, it's not gonna show anything because I didn't add my while loop, my game loop yet. Okay. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and add my, let's see. Okay, let me add position. So x-axis is going to be equal to, let's see. I'm going to be getting my heroes, my hero objects, x-axis, my hero object center, and I'm going to subtract that by my images width center as well. So to do that, I gotta create my game object. So inside my game class, I'm going to be adding a comment that says game objects. This is where I'm going to be drawing my game objects. The reason I am drawing my game objects inside of my game class and not outside is because when I reset my game and my player hits R, it's automatically going to reset his x-axis, y-axis, and all those positions to be the default position. Okay, so let me go ahead and create a hero object. Also that, excuse me guys, also that equal to my hero class. This is going to be self dot. Okay, next up, let me go up here and type self dot my game object, game dot my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect my hero object rex center x. This is basically the center of my hero. I'll subtract that by my image variable dot rect my images rex actually image.get underscore width. I'll get the width of my image and then I'll divide it by 2. So this basically gives me the middle part of my image. Okay, perfect. That's actually going to be perfect for my x-axis. Now for my y-axis, I'll set that equal to my game object dot my hero object dot rect my hero's rect. Now instead of going with the x-axis, y-axis, or anything else, I'm going to be going with top. The reason I am going with top is because I want the health bar to be drawn above my player's head. If I went with bottom, my health bar will be drawn on my player's leg instead of my player's shoes. Okay, I'll set that equal to my image.get underscore height. This time I'll get the height of my image and I'll subtract that by negative 80. And negative 80 is honestly just for visuals. You guys could play play with this negative 80 number to like see where your health bar would look good. For my PNG, negative 80 is right above my player's head. If I had 100, it would be like way above my player's head. Negative 100 would be way below my player's legs. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a surface.blitz. I want to blitz my image. The position is going to be in a tuple, and my position will be my x-axis and y-axis. Okay, that's pretty much it for my health bar class. Now let me go ahead. Honestly, before I create my buff bars and everything, I might just add my game loop. I'm not saying you didn't learn anything, but did you write the whole logic? Honestly, yeah, it took me like from like a past couple of actually several streams. I've been working on this game logic since my 100 series is just 3 days away from being over. So I gotta like master this game logic or some. The reason I'm like trying to explain this to you guys is so I get the perfect idea as well. I feel like I'm pretty good with it, but I do want to add more improvements to it. Okay, so let me go ahead and add my game loop. For my game loop, let me go ahead and create a is underscore running boolean variable. I'll go with is underscore running boolean variable. I'll set that equal to true, and then let me add a while loop. So while is underscore running, while my program is running or while my is running is set to true, I'm going to be adding my player's movement. I'm going to be detecting if my player moved. So for that, let me go ahead and create a keys variable. I'll set that equal to pygame.key.get underscore pressed. Okay, what this basically does is checks if any of my keys are getting pressed, and if my keys are getting pressed, which key is getting pressed. That's where my hero class's move method comes. This is where like I added a few conditions or if statements. If my right key is pressed, my player's x-axis increases by my x-axis velocity. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a collision detection. So I'll go with collision detection for player, and actually I might go with hero and NPCs. Hero and NPCs. Okay, and this is going to be detection. Okay, honestly, I won't add my collision detection just yet. Instead, let me go ahead and add a place for my win/lose logic. I won't add my win/lose logic yet as well. I should have created all my classes first. Okay, let me go ahead and add my game object. Details. This is where I'm going to be adding my details of my game objects, where I'm going to be moving them, automating them, and like trapping them in the window. And then my graphics. This is where I'm going to be drawing my players. And then let's see, let me go ahead and add a event loop. Honestly, I might add my event loop like right here, like up instead of going down. There we go. I could add my event loop right here. So I'll go with event loop. Okay, for my event loop, let me iterate over all my Pygame events. Iterating basically means looping, so let me loop over all my Pygame events. So for every event in my pygame.event.get, this basically gets all my Pygame events, but I'm looking for a specific type of event. So let me go with if my event.type, if my events type is equal to pygame.uppercase quit. If my event.type is pygame.quit, I'll set my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false. That basically ends my entire game loop completely. Okay, perfect. And then let me go ahead and add a screen.fill. I'll fill the screen to be around blue color, and honestly, I do not remember the RGB code for my blue color, so I might just copy it from here because I did use it in my previous codes as well. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and draw a few of my images. For now, I'll just go ahead and draw my floor. Pygame.draw.rect. Okay, I want the surface of my rectangle to be my screen. I want the color to be, I don't remember the RGB color for my floor as well. So let me just go down and copy that part. I mean, I could go to like Google and like go to the RGB Picker's website, but I feel this is going to be much faster. Okay, and my floor's attributes are going to be my floor variable, the x-axis, y-axis, width, and height. Okay, this draws my floor. Let me go ahead and draw my player. To draw my player, I'll go with my game object dot my hero object. Inside of my game object dot the draw method. That draws my hero. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add FPS. The for loop. Okay, let me go ahead and add my FPS. So I'll go with my clock variable dot tick. My FPS is going to be 60. Actually, I'll go with my FPS variable that is set to 60. Okay, maybe I'll add a comment that specifies this this is SPF FPS as well. Let me go with a pygame.quit. And honestly, let me go with a pygame.display.flip. Okay, pygame.display.flip basically updates my display. Pygame.display.update would work the exact same. Okay, honestly, let me import the sys module as well. Okay, what the sys module does is it basically works with the Python system. I don't know much about the sys module. The only function that I know is my sys module dot my exit function. This basically exits Python. Pygame.quit exits pygame and sys.exit exits Python. Now if I would run my command, there's my player. Okay, those are the stuff. Right now I can move my player because I didn't add his move method yet to the game loop. That aside, let me go ahead and do that. I didn't even apply gravity to my player, so he's just stuck up there. So under my game objects, let me go with my game object dot my hero object dot apply gravity. I apply gravity to my hero. My game object dot my hero object dot the move method, and the parameter is going to be my keys. Okay. Now if I run the command, actually, did I have like a trap method as well? Did I for my hero class? Okay, I didn't have a trap method, so let me go ahead and run the command. There we go. Now my player can like move around, although he can exit the window. Although the visuals are a little messy right now, I could like fix them. I usually prefer fixing them once the entire game score is done. Okay, I think that works perfectly for now. Let me go ahead and draw my NPCs as well. So I could go with my... Actually, let me create my NPC objects first. So inside of my game objects class, I could go with a game... Actually, a self.skeleton object. My skeleton object is going to be equal to my skeleton class. And then let me go ahead and add a self.dragon object, which is going to be equal to my dragon class. Okay, now... Under my graphics, let me go with my game object dot my skeleton object, which is inside of my game object dot the draw method. That's going to draw my skeleton, and then I'll go with my game object dot my dragon object, which is inside of my game object dot the draw method. Excuse me, guys. That's going to draw my dragon, and then let me go ahead and add their details. So I can go with my game object dot my skeleton object, which is inside of my game object dot the automate method. This is going to automate my skeleton, means automatically they're going to be moving. And then game dot dragon object, my dragon object is inside of my game object dot the draw dot the automate method. Okay, now if I run the command, my dragon, my skeleton, and my dragon are going to be moving. And again, their positions are like kind of would I say uncomfortable or like inappropriate type stuff. Or like just wrong. I don't know how to phrase that part, guys. I will fix these after I'm like done with the whole game score. Although, let me go ahead and lower my health bar as well. Not lower my health bar, draw my health bars, or create an object for my health bar. Self.health bar or health underscore bar is going to be equal to my health bar class. Next up, let me go all the way down here. I'm going to be drawing my health bar, so I'll go with game object dot my health bar object inside of my game object dot the draw method of my health bar. If I run the command, there we go. There's the health bar of my player. It follows my player. It's right above him. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's basically all the progress for now. Although, let me go ahead and add, let's see. Let me actually fix their positions like right now only, because since I already started it. Okay, instead of my skeleton's y-axis being 300, I'll change that to something like 405. Now my skeleton is going to be a bit lower. Okay, and my dragon could go a little higher. My dragon's, let's see, y-axis could be something around 150. My dragon would be higher. Okay, he went lower. Never mind, this should be 50. Okay, the reason I'm getting him a little higher is because my player won't be able to now sky camp up here to like dodge them. It will still hit him. Okay. And then my player is not completely on the floor, so let's fix that as well. For fixing that, I will have to go to my apply gravity. In my apply gravity's landing place, my landing section here, I said if my self.rect.bottom is greater than or equal to my floor's bottom, my position, my hero's bottom is going to be equal to my floor's y-axis. Basically, that code did work perfectly because all our PNGs are considered to be inside of a rectangle, and this is like basically the rectangle's place, so I gotta ignore that rectangle. This part is just for visuals. I will increase that by 20, and I will increase that by 20 as well. Now if I run the command, there we go. I ignore my player's rectangle. And guys, how do I know the exact measurements? I've made this game way more times than I can count. Okay, with that out of the way, let me try fixing his traps as well, because he can go completely to the left or can go completely to the right as well. Neither can he go completely to the top. So for that, I'll go in the trap section under my heroes move method, and then where I added my 100, so my player can go completely to the left. So if I run the command, that's basically the 100 position of my hero. My hero can go beyond this location. To fix that, I'll just change this to a negative number, something like negative 50. Okay, now we should be able to go more. Honestly, I think 25 would be like better. And guys, this is just for visuals, so like you guys can play around with this. Bro, what do you mean copy code? Copy code? Guys, I'm a little lost. Okay, I honestly might change that to 30. There we go, that's perfect. Now, the y-axis, I'll change this to something like 1080. So, I'll be able to go more towards the right as well. There we go. Okay, for the top, let's see. I'll change that to something like 25. So I could go a little higher. Maybe like 20. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. Alright, now with that out of the way, let me go ahead and create my other classes. So, what other classes would I need? I created a hero class, health bar class, Let me honestly create a drops class, because I do want random drop spawning in the screen, and every time a player like collects a drop, he gets a point or like a score. So let me create a drop class. For my drop class, create a class called drops. Okay, my drops class will inherit from my game objects class. The reason it is inheriting from my game objects class is because I want my drop class to have images, recs, and masks. And with that said, let me just apply some Vaseline on my lips. It's like zero dehydrated. Okay, perfect. Okay, for my drops class, let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init is going to be having, let's see, what other parameters would my drop class need? My drop class would need a image parameter for my drops image, and maybe a position parameter as well. Although I don't know where is my drops going to spawn, because it is going to be random. So I'll leave that to be none for now. I'll keep that none, because I don't know where my drops are going to be spawning. I want their positions to be randomized. And since I want their positions to be randomized, I am going to be working with the random module. So let me go ahead and import random. Okay. Alright, now let me go ahead and randomize my position parameter first. Let me go with the if statement. If my position is none, which it is currently set to none, I'm going to reassign my position to be equal to a tuple of random.randint. Okay, and the let's see, the a integer b is going to be 50 comma my display's width minus 50. What this basically means is my random drop is going to spawn anywhere on my width of my screen. It could be anywhere. Okay, and then outside my tuple, let me go ahead and add another random.randint for my y-axis as well. Okay, so that's going to be 50 comma. This time, instead of going with height, I am going to be going with my floor's y-axis. The reason I'm not going with my height is because if I went with my height, my coins would spawn under my floor as well, but I don't want it to spawn under my floor because my player can't go under my floor. So I want it to spawn anywhere but below my floor's y-axis. So I'll go with floor.y-axis minus 50. So this is my drops will spawn 50 pixels above my floor's y-axis. Okay, next up, since I am inheriting from a class, I would need a super dungeon init as well. So outside the if statement, I'll go ahead and create a super pair of parentheses dot dungeon init. My super dungeon init will have all the parameters of my game objects class. What all parameters does my game objects class have? Let's see. It needs an x-axis underscore velocity. I'll set that equal to 0 because I don't want my drops to be moving. A y-axis underscore velocity parameter as well. I'll set that equal to 0 because I don't want my drops to be moving in the y-axis as well. image parameter, which is going to be equal to my drop class's image parameter, a position parameter, which is going to be equal to my random position here. Okay, honestly, that's pretty much it for my drops class. I don't even need like a drop method since my game objects class already has a drop method. Said hi, how you doing, make Python sick? I appreciate you joining this stream. And I forgot to check. Hey bro, how you doing, Ninja? Sure, but I appreciate you joining this stream. And guys, I actually forgot to check if my stream on Kik and Twitch are going good. Okay, have you posted in the Kick Fam Discord yet? It's a good way to get more views and followers if you want. Here's the invite link. Honestly, I'm like actually kind of busy to like join Discords because after my streaming, I do have my college stuff and I have like an exam coming. I will definitely try those things after I'm done with my exams. Okay, Twitch stream's going good. Alright, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and create a few more classes. Basically, that's pretty much it for my drops class, but what other classes would I need? I might need a buff bar class as well, since I want to draw a buff bar above my player's regular health bar. So let me go ahead and create a class for my buff bar. Okay, and my buff bar class won't inherit from my game objects class since it's going to be exactly like my health bar class. I want my buff bar to be moving along with my player instead of just being in one position. Thank you for taking the time to explain the reason why you put everything and I'm new to coding and it's all just so overwhelming. Honestly, I do understand that so much. When I like first started programming, it was actually pretty overwhelming, but then the more you do it, the more you do it, it eventually clicks. You like find it click and you understand the syntaxes and how stuff works. That aside, let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor will be having a few parameters. What else parameters would my buff bar class have? My buff bar class would have a max buff parameter, and the max buff honestly is the same as max buff HP. The reason I'm just writing max buff is so it's easier, like so it's smaller. My buff bar's max HP is going to be set to 100. And then let me add a few instance variables. What all instance variables would I need? I would need something like self.max_buff. That is going to be equal to my max buff parameter, which is 100. My player can have more health than 100. Let me go with a self.current_buff. How much HP does my current buff bar have? Okay, current_HP. Or let me just go with current buff. Okay, I'll set that equal to I'll set that equal to 0 because when my player when my player spawns in the game, he wouldn't have a buff bar. He wouldn't have an additional buff. Then let me go with a self.active to check if my buff bar is currently active. This is going to be a boolean instance variable. I'll set that equal to false for now. Maybe fix my typo. Okay, so active is going to be set to false. What else would I need? I want my buff bar to only last 5 seconds on the screen, like once my player collects a potion. So I would have to track the time when my when the buff bar appears on the screen. So let me go with self.buff_time. This is going to be the amount of time or like when my buff bar first appeared on the screen. And since I am going to be working with time right now, let me go ahead and import the time module. So I'll go with import time. Okay, there we go. And then I'll go with the right here. Okay, I'll go with my time module.the time function. What does the time module.the time function basically does? This basically counts the exact time my buff appeared on my screen. Time.time counts the entire Python's time, and then if I subtract that from my self.buff time, it's gonna give me how long my buff has lasted on my screen, if that made any sense, guys. I feel I'm kind of bad at explanation. Okay, that aside, these are basically actually I would need one more parameter or one more instance variable. I'll set that to be something like buff_path. What is my buff path? This is going to be my buff bar's PNGs, which is going to be in a dictionary because I have 5 PNGs. Each PNG is like from 0 to 100 HP. So my 0 PNG buff bar is going to be something like pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my 0 HP PNG. So I'll go with game items, followed by 2 forward slashes, followed by buff bar, 2 more forward slashes, my 0 HP buff bar PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will be converting it to alpha. Okay, and just to save time, let me just shrink that so you guys can see it. And then just to save time, I'll copy that and paste it around 5 times. So that's going to be 20 HP, 40 HP, 60 HP, 80 HP, and 100 HP. Let me remove the comma from there, zoom in a little. Okay, now let me change the 0 to be 20, that 0 to be 20 as well. Let me change this to be 40, change that to be 40. Change this to be 60, change that to be 60. Change this to be 80, change that to be 80. Lastly, change this to be 100 and that to be 100. Okay, perfect. Okay, now that I've loaded these images, I would have to scale them, and I did create a scale function up in the code, so let me use that. Firstly, before scaling it, I would have to iterate over my dictionary to get every individual buff path's 5 path. So let me go with a for loop. For every key in my self.buff path, for every key in my self.buff path, this basically gives me every individual key's value from here. I'll go with self.buffPath at index of key. This is basically the individual value from here. I'll set that equal to invoke my, this is going to be buff path. Okay, I'll set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my self.buffPath. Okay, buff path at index of key. Okay, perfect. This basically scales the buff path. Now let me go ahead and define a few methods. What all methods in my buff path, my buff bar need? Okay, when my buff bar is active, I don't want my health bar to take damage. So I could go with a take damage method. I wouldn't want to heal my buff bar because it is just going to be in the screen for like, let's say 5 seconds. Although I would need a method to activate my buff as well. My buffs activate state. So let me create that first. I'll define a activate underscore buff method. While this method is defined, or like when someone invokes this method, is that what we say it? That time my buff is going to be activated. Okay, let me add a parameter of amount, how much buff needs to be activated. So let's reassign a few instance variables. I'll go with self.activate, my boolean instance variable, which was initially set to false. Now that my buff has been activated, this is going to be set to true. Let me go with self.currentBuff. That is going to be equal to my amount. If I activate my buff and I go with 20 buffs, so my player has 20 buff health. If I go with 100, my player is going to have 100 buff health. And then let me go with self.buffTime. This is still going to remain time.time to like find the exact time my buff spawned, my buff bar appeared on the screen. Okay, honestly, that's pretty much it for my activate buff. Next up, let me go ahead and define a take underscore damage method. Okay, my take damage method is going to be having a parameter of amount as well, exactly the same as my health bar class did. Okay, now I will be adding my current buff, and then I'll set that equal to max 0, my current buff minus my amount. But before that, I will check if my buff bar is currently active. So let me go with the if statement. If self.active, if my buff bar is currently active, then I'm going to be going with my self.current buff, my buff bar's current HP. I'll set that equal to max. Max is going to be 0. My buff bar's HP can go below 0. Self.current buff, my buff bar's current HP minus my amount. Can just zoom out so you guys can see it. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add another if statement. So if my self.current buff, if my player or if my buff bar's current HP is less than or equal to 0, I'll set my self.activate, my activate boolean instance variable, to be equal to false. And if my activate boolean variable is equal to false, this take damage condition, excuse me guys, this take damage condition wouldn't work, and my buff bar wouldn't even be displayed on the screen. Okay, honestly, the buff bar wouldn't be displayed on the screen. I wouldn't need that right now. I'll need that when I'm like adding that on my graphics. Okay, that aside, what other methods would my buff bar need? My buff bar might need a update method to like update my buff bar so the buff bar disappears off the screen after 5 seconds. So let me go ahead and define a update method. Okay, my update method actually won't have any parameters, but instead, let's see, I'll go with a if statement. If my self.activate buff, if my buff is currently activated, And let's see, I'll go with a tuple time.time, my time module dot my time function, my Python's current time minus my self dot buff times minus when my buff time spawned. This tracks when my buff bar appeared on the screen. If my Python's current time minus when my buff bar appeared on the screen is greater than 5 seconds, or I could go with greater than or equal to. I'll just go with greater than 5 seconds. Could go with equal to as well. It's the same thing, guys. Is greater than or equal to 5 seconds. I'll remove the colon from there and get it outside. I'll set my self dot activate to be equal to false. My buff bar is no longer activated. Okay, and lastly, let me go ahead and define a draw method. This draw method is going to be exactly the same as my health bar as well. I'll have two parameters. First is going to be a surface parameter, which is going to be set to screen by default. The second one is going to be, let's see, my hero underscore rect parameter, which is going to be set to none for now because I don't know where I'm going to be adding it or what my hero is currently. So basically, the reason I use my hero underscore rect is because I want my health bar to be trapped inside of my hero's rect, my PNG's rectangle. So wherever my hero moves, my PNG, my buff bar's PNG follows him. Okay, so let me go ahead and create a new variable called buff underscore key, set that equal to max. Now go with the conditional expression. The reason I'm doing this is because whenever my health bar takes damage, I want to get my, like, if my health bar is currently at 20 HP, I want to show my 20 HP health bar's PNG. So I go with the conditional expression. I iterate over my buff path. So for every key in my self.buff path, okay, this basically gives me every individual key from my dictionary here. Let me go with the if statement. If my key is less than or equal to my self.current buff, if my key is less than or equal to my current buff, if my key is, for example, my key could be, let's say, 60 HP. If that is less than or equal to my current buff bar's health, I'm going to be returning my K. Okay, so whatever my keys value is, if my keys value is 80 and that is less than or equal to my current buff bar's HP is going to give me that keys value. So that's going to be shown in the screen, if that made any sense. Okay, then let me go ahead and add a image variable, also that equal to my self.buff path at index of buff key. Okay, what this basically does is this gives me the individual keys that always changes depending on my buff bar's HP. Okay, now let me go ahead and create positions, x-axis and y-axis. So x-axis is going to be equal to my hero's center minus my images center, my current PNGs, my buff bar PNG center. To do that, I'll go with my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect my hero's rex center x. Okay, I'll subtract that by my image dot get underscore width. I'll get the width of my image and divided by 2. Basically what this is my hero center, my hero's x-axis center, and this is my images center. Actually, this is my entire images width. If I divide my width by 2, that gives me my images center. And the reason I'm using 2 division signs, that also called floor division, having one division sign here could like give me a decimal point number as well. Having 2 divisions or using a floor division gives me a integer. Okay, now let me go ahead and create y-axis. So y-axis is going to be equal to my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect my hero's rectangle dot top. The reason I added top is because I want my buff bar to be above my hero. If I went with dot bottom, it would be on my hero's shoe area, if that made any sense, on my hero's bottom. Okay, I'll subtract that by my image dot get underscore height. I'll get the height of my image and I'll subtract that by, let's go with -50. And again, the -50 is just for visuals. The reason I added -50 here is because my health bars, I added -80 for my health bar. So my health bar is going to be somewhere here and my buff bar will be above my health bar. Okay, next up, let me blit my whatchamacallit, let me blit my buff bar on my screen. So let me go with surface, my surface parameter, which is set to screen by default. Dot blit. I want to blit my image. The position is going to be in a tuple, and the position will be x-axis and y-axis. Okay, the dest will be x-axis and y-axis. Alright, that's pretty much it for my buff bar. Now let me go ahead and create an object for my buff bar. So I'll go with self.buffBar. Buff bar, also that equal to my buff bar class. Okay, let's draw my buff bar. Maybe under my graphics, I'll go with. Okay, before I draw my buff bar, I will have to add a if statement, because let me actually show what happens if I like just draw it. I'll go with game.buffbar.draw. Okay, now if I were to run the command, my buff bar doesn't disappear from my screen. Although if I went with if my game object dot my buff bar object inside of my game object dot the activate instance variable, if this is set to true, if my buff bar is only if my buff bar is activated and I run the command, that's when I'll see the buff bar on my screen. So right now, until my buff bar hasn't been activated yet, I'm not going to be seeing it on the screen. Okay, right now I can't show you guys how that works because I didn't load my actual buff potion. I didn't have the collision logic yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me create a few more variables now. I created the main variables. Now let me create the drop variables. So what all I want to drop on my screen. Firstly, let's actually go with my buff potion first because I already had the buff bar logic. Let me go with self.buff underscore pots. Also that equal to a list of my drops class. The reason I set it to a list of my drops class, and this is going to be my buff pots image. Okay, the reason I set it to be a list of my buff class is because if I didn't do that, only one buff pot would show on my screen once I claim that no more are going to be spawning. If I have a list, there are going to be multiple buff pots that's going to be spawning on the screen after a set number of time, because I am going to be adding a buff pot drop delay. So I could, if I keep that to like 20 seconds, a buff pot spawns every 20 seconds. Okay, if that made any sense. Okay, now that I'm working with drops, I'll have to add a few drop time as well to track when my drop has dropped on the screen. So I'll go with drop time. Okay, so for my drop time, let me go with a self dot, let's say buff underscore pot underscore drop underscore time. This is going to be equal to my time module dot my time function. Basically what the time module's time function does is it like gives me the exact time when my buff potion dropped on the screen. If it was just time.time, that's Python's current time. And if it's set to a variable, for example, something that's going to be dropping on the screen, it's going to be recording that time on when that stuff dropped on the screen. What time, what Python's time it was when that stuff dropped on the screen, if that made any sense, guys. Then let me go ahead and add a self.buff underscore pot underscore delay. This is going to be the buff potion's delay. After how much time do I want the buff potion to drop to like spawn on the screen? I'll go with 20 seconds. Okay, perfect. Next up, honestly, let me go ahead and add collision logic for my hero and NPC first before I add my drops. Okay, so I am going to be using pixel perfect collision. So what all would I need for pixel perfect collision? Firstly, I would need offsets like offset underscore x-axis, offset underscore y-axis, and then a variable to check if they overlap. So let's go ahead and do that. Although if I were to create offset underscore x-axis, also that equal to pass for now, and then offset underscore y-axis, also that equal to pass for now as well. If I added them, I'll have to do that for all my separate NPCs individually. But to save time, I could define a function. So what could my function be? Let's see. My function could be called something as collision detector. There we go. My collision detector function is gonna have a few parameters. First parameter, who is my player? My player is gonna be my game.hero. Who is my enemy? My enemy is gonna be my game.skeleton or my game.dragon. The next one is honestly optional, enemy underscore name. If you wanna like specify which enemy you collided with, I'll add it because like just for the fun, I'll add it. And lastly, a collision underscore flag. Is my collision, so these are my collision flags. Is my collision flag set to true? If it is set to true, a collision did happen. If it's not set to true, the collision didn't happen. Okay, now let me go ahead and create offsets. So I'll create offset underscore x-axis. I'll set that equal to my enemy dot rect dot x-axis minus my player dot rect dot x-axis, and then I'll create a offset underscore y-axis. My offset underscore y-axis is going to be equal to my enemy dot rect dot y-axis minus my player dot rect dot y-axis. So that's basically it for offsets, although I would need a overlap variable as well, so let me create that. My overlap variable is going to be equal to my player dot mask, my player's mask. If my player's mask dot overlap, if my player's mask overlaps with my enemy dot mask, my enemy's mask at the given offset of my offset underscore x-axis. Let me zoom out so you guys could see. And offset underscore y-axis, it is going to be considered an overlap. So if my player's mask overlaps with my enemy's mask at this given offset, it's going to be considered a overlap. Now let's add a if statement. If a overlap did happen, maybe Control Z. Okay, I'll just type it. If a overlap did happen, there we go. And if not, collision flag. If not, collision flag. The reason I added if not collision flag is because currently my collision flags are set to false. The not membership operator converts false to true. So this is basically gonna be if my collision flags are set to true. Okay, if a collision did happen, I will print something. Let me go ahead and print a f string. I'm gonna print something like, boom, you collided with add a pair of curly parentheses. Let me go with, excuse me guys, my enemy underscore name. Okay, perfect. Okay, what else would I need after my player collides? I would want my health bar to like take the damage, so let me go here. Honestly, before my health bar takes the damage, I will check if my buff bar takes the damage. So let me say if buff bar active, buff bar takes damage. Okay, so if my buff bar is active, my buff bar is going to take damage. How am I going to check that? Let's see. Let me firstly check if my buff bar is activated. Let's go with if my game object dot my buff bar object dot the activate boolean instance variable. If that is set to true, if my buff bar is active, I'm gonna go ahead and do something. Let's see. Let me go with my game object dot my buff bar object dot the take damage method. The damage is gonna be, honestly, there are three things that I could do here now. I could manually add 20 damage, or I could create a variable here that says damage equals to 20 and then get my damage variable and paste it here. Or I could add another parameter up here after my collision flag that's something like damage and also that equal to 20 by default. So I could go with damage here. Honestly, I feel this looks much better, although we could do one of those three. It's the shame, guys. Okay, and then if my buff bar is currently active, my game.buffbar.take damage, my buff bar takes damage. Then let me add another if statement. If my game object dot my buff bar object dot current buff, if my buff bar's current HP is less than or equal to 0, I'm gonna set my game object dot my buff bar object dot activate to be equal to false. Okay, perfect. Now, outside my first if statement where I had if my game.buffbar is activated, I'm going to be adding an else clause. If my buff bar is not activated, and if the way I know that my buff bar is not activated is only when my buff bar's HP is less than or equal to 0. Okay, I'll go with my game object dot my health bar object dot take damage. My health bar takes damage, and the damage is going to be my damage parameter. Now let me actually go ahead and add a if statement here. If my game object dot my health bar object dot take dot current HP, if my health bar's current HP is less than or equal to 0, I'll set my game object dot my game underscore lost game state that I like created right here under my game state section. That is currently set to false. I'll set that equal to true. My game is gonna end. Okay, that's basically it. Let me actually add a comment here that says health bar takes damage. Okay, that's basically it for my overlap. Now let me actually use this overlap function inside. Let me apply this to my NPCs. So first, collision flag is gonna be my skeleton. So let me go with my game object dot my skeleton collision flag. I'll set that equal to invoke my collision detector function. Now fill in the parameters. The first parameter is going to be my player. My player is going to be my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object. And then I'll need my enemy. My enemy is going to be my game object dot my skeleton object inside of my game object. And then let me go ahead and add my enemy name. My enemy name is going to be in a string. This is going to be skeleton. And just zoom in so you guys can see. Actually, let me zoom out and like scroll here so it's a little bigger, because I feel like many people from the vertical stream won't be able to see this. Okay, lastly, my collision flag. My collision flag will be my game.skeleton collision. Let me copy that. Paste it here. Let me just zoom out so everything is being seen. There we go. And the reason it has a yellow underline is because I didn't return anything. So let me go ahead and return. Okay, I'll go with enter. And under my if not collision flag, if my collision flag is set to true, I'll go ahead and return true. And outside my if overlap, I'll go ahead and return false. I only want this whole stuff to work if my collision flag is set to true. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add another one. Let me copy that. Maybe go there, paste, go up there. Okay, now I'll go with game.dragon collision flag. Okay, I'll set that equal to invoke my collision detector function, fill in the parameters. So I'll need my player parameter, enemy name parameter, and collision flag parameter. My player parameter is going to be my game object dot my hero object. My enemy parameter is going to be my game object dot my dragon object. This is going to be my enemy. And then my dragon name is going to be in a, guys, I forgot what it's called, in a string. Okay, and then I'll go with my collision flag. My collision flag is going to be my game.dragon collision. Let me paste that here. Okay, perfect. That's basically how it looks. Now, every time my player collides with an enemy, my health bar will take damage. Let me go ahead and run the command. If I collide, my health bar takes damage. Let's see what happens if my health bar's HP goes to 0. Okay, nothing happens because I didn't add my win/lose logic yet. So now I still collide. So it says, boom, you collide with a skeleton. Boom, you collide with a skeleton. Although I would take damage if I collided with my dragon as well. Let me just show you that to you guys. There we go. I missed it. There we go. Like, boom, you collided with a dragon. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add my win/lose logic. What all do I need for my win/lose logic? Let me work on my win logic first. So, if my game.score, if my score variable inside of my game object is, let's say, greater than or equal to 10, I'll set my game object dot my game underscore 1 boolean instance variable. I'll set that equal to true. If my score is greater than or equal to 10, I win the game. Now let me go ahead and add another if statement. If my game dot, excuse me guys, if my game dot game underscore 1, if I did win the game, I'll blitz something on the screen. I'll go with screen dot blitz. I'll blitz my win screen UI that I created up there. The dest is going to be 0 by 0. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and add one for game lost as well. So I'll go with the if statement. If game.game underscore lost, if I lost the game, I'll blitz my lose screen UI at the given dest of 0 and 0. Okay, add that in a new line, guys. My bad. I zoned out for a bit. I'll go with screen.blitz. I'll blitz my lose screen UI at the given dest of 0 and 0. Okay, perfect. And the way I lose a game, a way this is going to be true, is if my health bar's HP is less than or equal to 0. Let me go ahead and lose this time. And maybe even hydrate my lips up real quick. There we go. Okay, and why is everything still working even though I lost? It's most likely because I didn't change this to an else if. Where's it gone? There we go. Guys, I can't tell you guys how many times I made this exact same mistake. I struggled so much to figure out what was wrong here. Now if I lose, it's gonna cover the entire screen. Well, that's happening. Maybe I drink some water. Okay, that's strange. Hold up. Let me see where I messed up. Okay, if game.game underscore lost. I'm honestly pretty sure this part is correct. Okay, let me actually go with an. Oh yeah, okay. I need to add an else as well. And all these goes inside of my else clause. Alright, perfect. Okay, the reason everything was still going on is because nothing was inside of my else clause. Let me go ahead and say this is going to be my regular loop. Okay, now if I run the command, now if I lose, that's the only thing that's going to be showing. My game will stop running if I lost the game. But, there we go. Okay, so let me go ahead and add my my scores as well in my games. So I mean my coins as well in my game. So people people can actually collect scores. Although before that, I might add a text as well to the screen that says press R to dash dash dash. Okay, so let me go ahead and add a win underscore text variable. I'll set that equal to my when text font dot the render function. Okay, now let me go ahead and render a text. My text is going to be something like Q1 exclamation mark press R to play again. Okay, and then my entalysis, let me actually remove the exclamation. My entalysis, if that's how you pronounce it, guys, is going to be set to true. Lastly, my color is going to be, I don't know, something like black. Okay, the RGB for black is 000. And then let me blit my win text on my screen. So I'll go with screen.blit. I want to blit my win text at the given depth of 250 by 40. And guys, how do I know the proportions? I did this code. I wrote this code like so many times, so I know the proportions of my images and everything. Okay, that aside, let me do the same thing for my loose text. I'll go with loose underscore text. I'll set that equal to my loose text font dot the render function. Okay, now I'll render a text. Let me say something like you lost exclamation press R press R to play again. Okay, and then maybe I zoom out a bit. My entalysis is going to be set to true, if that's how you pronounce it. Lastly, my color is going to be set to black. And then let me go ahead and blit my loose text on my screen. So I'll go with screen.blit. I want to blit my loose text at the given depth, which is going to be 250 by 40 as well. Okay, perfect. If I run the command, now if I lose, a loose text is going to be shown in the screen. Meanwhile, let me check if my stream's going good everywhere. Okay, Twitch stream's going good. Let me check on Kick. Twitch stream's going good as well. Alright, it says you lost, press R to play again. Okay, next up, let's see. What else would I need now? Let me add a space so it actually looks good. Okay, let me go ahead and add my coins on my screen. I did create a object for my coins. I didn't create an object. So let me go ahead and create an object for my coins. So I'll go with self.coins. I'll set that equal to exactly the same as my buff bots. I'll go with add index of my drops class. The image is going to be my coin image. Okay, there we go. I would need one for my meats as well, so I might as well load it right now. So I'll go with self dot let's go with meals. I have a list of my meals, also that equal to my drops class. Excuse me guys, the image is going to be my meat image. Okay, now let me add a drop time. When did my coin drop? So let me go with self.coin underscore drop underscore time. Also that equal to my time module dot the time function. Basically what the time module's time function does is it gives me the exact time my coin dropped on my screen. If I were just talking about the time module's time function without it being equal to a variable, it's going to give me Python's current time. But if it is equal to a variable and that variable apparently has like spawns on the screen, it's going to start counting from that exact time when it spawned on the screen. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a self.coin underscore drop underscore delay. Also that equal to how often do I want my coin to drop or like to spawn. I'll go with something like 4 seconds. A coin spawns once every 4 seconds. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create a drop time for my meals as well. So meal drop time. My meal drop time is going to be equal to time module dot my time function. And again, what my time module's time function basically does is it gives me the exact time when my meal drops or when my meal spawns. And if it is not, if my time module's time function is not equal to any variable, then it's going to give me Python's current time. Let me go ahead and add a self.meal drop delay. Okay, how often do I want my meals to drop on the screen? Let's see. I think a reasonable time would be once every 14 seconds because my meal would apparently heal my players. I don't want it to drop like too quick. Okay, honestly, I want to go with like 16 seconds. I could go with 16 seconds. Okay, next up, I would have to add a collision detection for my drops and my players. And I can use my collision detection function here because this is the collision detection for my player and my enemies. My collision detection for my coins, meals, and buff potions are going to be having different attributes or like they're going to be doing different stuff. For example, coin is going to increase my player's score, meals is going to recover my player's health bar, and buff potion or buff pot is going to add an additional HP. I would have to create separate collision flags for them or collision logic for them. Unless like you guys think that there is like an easier way to do that with like a function, let me know if there is. Okay, let me go ahead and add a collision detection for hero and coin. Okay, this is going to be a collision detection for my hero and coins. Okay, so since my coins is in a list, I will be iterating over my list first. So I'll go with for every coin in my game object dot my coins is list add index of colon. Why did I add index of colon? Let me add it in here. Okay, the reason I added at index of colon is because at index of colon duplicates everything inside of my list. The reason I am duplicating everything inside of my list is because when my player collides or overlaps with a coin / collects the coin, I want that coin to disappear. I want to remove that coin from my screen. And when you're removing stuff, it's always safe to have a duplicate on the screen, apparently. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and create offsets. Offset underscore x is going to be equal to my coin dot rect, my coins rex x-axis minus my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect my hero's rex x-axis. The same thing for my offset underscore y-axis. Also that equal to my coin object dot rect dot y-axis minus my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect my hero's rex y-axis. Okay, and then I'll need a overlap variable. I'll set my overlap variable to be equal to my game object dot my hero object dot my hero object's mask dot overlap my coin dot mask, my coin object's mask at the given offset. The offset is going to be my offset underscore x-axis and offset underscore y-axis. What this basically means is if my hero object's mask overlaps with my coin object's mask at this given offset, that's going to be considered a overlap. Let me add a if statement now. If a overlap did happen, if something is considered to be a overlap, what am I going to do? I'm gonna go with my game object dot my score object. I'll increase that by 1. My game object score object is initially set to 0. I would need to set my score boolean instance variable to be equal to true as well. So let me go with my game object dot my scored object stored instance dot stored object. My game object dot my scored instance boolean variable inside of my game object. I'll set that equal to true since my player scored. Once my player scores and overlaps with a coin, I want to remove the coin from the screen. So I'll go with my game object dot my coins is list dot the remove function. I want to remove my coin. Okay, perfect. Let me go with an else clause. Else I'll go with my game object dot my scored object. I'll set that equal to false. Alright, guys, let me drink some coffee. Really thirsty. Okay, next up, let's see. That's honestly basically it for the collision detection for my coin and my hero. Although, what if I want to like spawn my coins? This just checks the collision detection. I would need to add an additional spawn logic, so let's do that. Spawn logic for coins. Okay, let's add a spawn logic for coins. So this is where I'm going to be using that the thing that I said previously, that my time.time minus my objects or my drop time minus my drops delay. So I'll explain you guys while I write the code. If my time.time, my time module dot my time function, this is Python's current time. If Python's current time minus my game object dot my coin drop time, when my coin dropped, this counts the time when my coin dropped, because my coin drop time was equal to my time.time. This gives me the exact time my coin drops on the screen. If that time is, let's see, greater than my game object dot my coin drop delay, okay, I append another coin inside of my game object. Okay, so I go with actually inside of my coins object. So my game object dot my coins object, which is inside of my game object dot append, the append function. I want to append my drops class. And what am I appending? What image? I'm appending my coin image. There we go. Oh, and one more thing, guys, before I say that though, I will reassign my game.coinDropTime to be equal to my time module.my time function. Okay, so this basically adds like a reset type stuff. Once the coin drops in the screen, I do this stuff. So another coin drops on the screen, and then this tracks that coin's drop time. Okay, now with that out of the way, there was one more thing. The drop delays that I added here, I just added these drop delays here for like neatness. You guys could add the drop delays outside the game class. Okay, and anything here in general, you guys could add everything here outside the game class. But when you need to like reset the game or add a reset function that resets all the game states, that's where this is going to come in use, because I am going to be defining a reset method here. I'll just return my dungeon init. So let's go with self.dungeon init. Okay, this basically resets the games where all the positions and everything, like the game state is going to be set to false, player score is going to be set to false, score is going to be set to false, all collision flags are going to be set to false. Everything here that needs to be reset is going to be resetted. Okay. With that out of the way, let me drink some more coffee. Okay, now let me go ahead and blit my coin on my screen. So to blit my coin on my screen, let me go ahead and draw my coin. To draw my coin, I would have to iterate over my coins. And for my buff bar, I will have to go with game.buffbar.update as well, my update method. Because first I update my buff bar to check if 5 seconds have passed on the screen. If it did, then my buff bar disappears. And after the 5 seconds disappeared, if my buff bar is active again, I check if the 5 seconds hasn't passed, my buff bar is drawn. If it's passed, it's not drawn. Okay, now let me go ahead and iterate over my coins list inside of my game object, because I want to draw it now. For every coin in my game dot coins' list, I'll go with my coin.draw. Okay, now if I run the command, a coin spawns every this thing I collected, that coin disappears. Now after 4 seconds, another coin spawns randomly across the screen. Why does my dragon deal a lot of damage? Is it just me or he like actually deals a lot of damage? No, he just deals 1 damage. Yeah, it's just 1 damage. Okay. Okay, my coin spawns perfectly. Let me go and add my meat and my buff potion as well. I do want to add my buff potion before my meat because I want to show you guys that logic. Okay, next up, for my buff potion, I might add those inside my win logic. It is the same thing, but then I do want to add them inside my regular game loop because that is my regular game loop. I mean, it's honestly the same thing, so I can... Okay, might as well just add it here. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a collision detection for, let's see, for my hero and... excuse me, guys, buff potion. Okay, so again, since my buff potion is a list inside of my game object right here, I'm going to be iterating over it and then getting their offsets. So let's do that. Let me go with for every pot. Pot is the short form for potions, if that made any sense. For every pot in my game dot buff pots, add index of colon. A quick quiz for you guys. Why did we use our index of colons? I will say why did we do that, but I just want to see if you guys like if you guys know that part, because I said it like when I was doing it for my coin image. Okay, so I'll create offsets. So first I'll go with my pot.rect, my pot's rex x-axis minus my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect dot x-axis. Then let me go ahead and create a offset underscore y, also that equal to my pot dot rect dot y-axis, my pot's y-axis minus my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect my hero object's rex y-axis. Then let me go ahead and create a overlap variable, also that equal to my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot mask my hero object's masks dot overlap my pot.mask at the given offset, which is going to be in a tuple of my offset underscore x-axis and offset underscore y-axis. So basically what this means is if my game object, if my hero object's mask overlaps with my pot's mask at this given offset, that is going to be considered a overlap. And the reason we used our index of colon here is because our index of colon duplicates everything inside of our list, and since when my hero collides with my pot or with my buff potion, once they collide, I do want to remove my buff potion from the screen. And whenever we gotta remove something from our list, it's always safe to duplicate that stuff in our list. Okay, let me add an if statement now. If overlap. Okay, if a overlap did happen, I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to be drinking some coffee, even though I'm getting runny nose now. Okay, if a overlap did happen, I'm going to be, let's see. Since this is an overlap with my buff potion, I will activate my buff. I'll go with my game object dot my buff bar object inside of my game object dot activate buff method. What is the amount? How much buff do I want to give my player? I want to give my player 100 buff. Okay, my buff bar activates, and then let's see. I'll go with my game object dot my buff pots list inside of my game object dot the remove function. I want to remove my pot. So after a overlap happens, my buff bar activates and I remove that part from my screen. That's basically it for my collision logic, for my collision detection for my hero and buff pot. Although I would need to add a spawn logic as well, so my buff potion spawn on my screen as well. So let me go ahead and add a spawn logic for buff potions. Okay, for the spawn logic, let me go with if my time module dot my time function, if my Python's current time minus my game object dot my buff pod drop time minus when my potion dropped. The reason this is when my potion dropped is because I set that equal to time dot time inside of my right there inside of my drop time section. So buff pod drop time equals to time dot time. So that gives me the exact time my buff pod dropped. So if my Python's time minus when my buff pod drops time is greater than my buff pod drop delay, my game object dot my buff pod drop delay, I append another buff pod inside of my drops class. So I'll go with game object dot my wait, was it game object? Okay, game object dot my buff pods dot append. I append my drops class. The image is going to be my buff pod image. Guys, I want to blow my nose actually, because this headphone's actually overheating my head, so I'm getting congestion, or what's that thing called? I don't even know what's it called. Okay, and then let me go ahead and reassign my buff pod drop time to be equal to my time module dot my time function. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and draw my buff pod on my screen now. And since my buff pods is a list, I would have to iterate over it exactly the same as I iterated over my coins. So for every potion / pot, for every pots in my game object dot my buff pots, okay, list, I'll go with pot dot draw. Okay, now if I run the command, there's going to be a buff potion in my screen. If I collect that, I get my buff bar, and my buff bar takes the damage instead of my health bar. Okay, that disappeared, so my health bar took damage. And if I collect coins, my coins disappear as well, and they spawn once every 4 seconds. Let me try surviving real quick because I want another buff pot to spawn. There we go. My buff pot takes damage. Okay, honestly guys, I might close my camera real quick and mute myself because I do want to blow my nose. So give me a sec. Let me just, do I like hide that? There we go. Let me do that from my horizontal camera as well. Okay, now let me go ahead and mute myself. I'm going to be blowing my nose real quick, so like give me a sec guys. Alright, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, back guys. Let me just get my webcam back on. There we go. Okay, so where were we? Okay, I was probably gonna drink some coffee. Okay, so we got our buff pod on our screen. What else do I need? Let's see. I would need to add my meats as well on my screen, since my player would recover HP every time he eats the meat. So let's go ahead and add a collision detection for my player and my meat. And guys, you guys can like let me know on my Discord if there is like an easier way to do this. I think this is like the only way that we can do this. Okay, I won't go as far as to saying this is the only way, but this is the only way that I could think of. Let me go ahead and add a collision detection for, let's see, hero and meat. I could have gone with meals, but it's the same thing. Okay, so for collision detection, again, since my meals is inside of a list inside of my games class, I would have to iterate over my list of meals and then add offsets. The reason I am creating offsets is because we need offsets for pixel perfect collision. So let me start off by iterating over the list of my meals. So for every meal in my game object dot my meals object inside of my game object, add index of colon. And guys, let me know why did we add an index of colon here. I will like tell you guys after I'm done creating offsets. This is like a tiny quiz. Okay, so offset underscore x-axis is going to be equal to my meal object dot rect dot x-axis minus my game object dot rect dot x-axis. My game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect. This is my hero's rect dot x-axis. Okay, let me do the same thing for my offset underscore y-axis. Also, that equal to my meal dot rect dot y-axis, my meal's y-axis minus my game object dot my hero object dot my hero object's rex y-axis. Okay, the reason we added at index of colon here is because at index of colon duplicates everything inside of our list, and we need to, and since I am going to be removing my meal once my player collides with it, it's safer to duplicate stuff. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and add a overlap variable. I'll set my overlap variable to be equal to my game object dot my hero object, which is inside of my game object dot mask dot overlap, pair of parentheses, my meal dot mask at the given offset, which is going to be in a tuple of my offset underscore x-axis and offset underscore y-axis. So basically what this means is if my hero's mask overlaps with my meal's mask at this given offset, that's considered a overlap. Let me add a if statement now. If a overlap is considered, or if a overlap did happen, I'll do something. Let's see, what am I gonna do? Firstly, this is my meal, so I would want to recover my player's health bar, so let's do that first. So I'll go with my game object dot my health bar object dot the heal method. How much HP do I want to heal? I want to heal 20 HP if I collide with the meat. And then I'll go with my game object dot my meals object dot the remove function. I want to remove something. I want to remove my meal. Okay, that's honestly pretty much it for my collision detection for player and meal. Next up, let me go ahead and add my spawn logic for my meals on the screen. So let me go ahead and add a spawn logic for meals. For the spawn logic, is going to be exactly the same as my coin object and my buff potions. I'll go with a if statement. If my time dot time if my time module dot my time function, my Python's current time minus my game object dot my, what was it called, my meat drop time, minus my game dot meat drop time. What does my meat drop time mean? I set my meat drop time to be equal to time dot time, which means this thing, my meat drop time, gives me the exact time my meat is spawned on my screen. So if my Python's current time minus the time when my meat is spawned on my screen is greater than my game object dot my meal spawn delay, my meals drop delay, okay, which is currently set to, I guess, was it set to 14 seconds? I'm pretty sure 14 seconds. So if it's been 14 seconds since my meal has spawned on the screen, another meal spawns on the screen. So let's append my, let me just go with game dot meals list, the list of meals inside of my game class dot append. I'm gonna append my drops class, and the image is gonna be my meals image. Was it called meat image? There we go, meat image. Okay, and then let me go ahead and reassign my meal drop time to be equal to my time module dot my time function. Okay, that's basically it for the spawn logic for my meat as well. Let's go ahead and draw that. And since my meals is a list of my meals, like since my meals object is a list, I'll iterate over it. For every meal, actually I might go with meat. For every meat in my game dot meals is list, I'm gonna be going with meat dot draw. I draw my meat on the screen. Now if I were to run the command, a meat spawned on the screen, I took some damage. If I eat that meat, I recover HP. I collect coins, collect my buff potion takes damage. Then I collect more coins. I took some damage, let me take some more damage. A meat spawned, if I eat the meat, I recover HP. Okay, perfect. That's honestly pretty much, there's almost it for the basic game logics. The basic games, what's that called? I forgot. The basic games board or something. Although I do want to add my sound effects right now, and guys, this is going to be like the funniest part because I was the voice artist for the sound effects. With that said, what else sound effects would I need? I'll need a sound effect if my player collides with an NPC. So let's go ahead and add that. I'll go with colliding underscore SFX. This is going to be the sound effect that my player says or like plays once they collide with somebody. So let me go with pygame.mixer, pygamesmixer.decapitalize sound function. I'll give the file path of my sound effect. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by SFX, 2 more forward slashes, my colliding sound effects. And then I will set volume as well. Let me copy that and go with colliding sound effect dot the set underscore volume function. The volume is going to be 0.1, which is basically 10%. Okay, perfect. Now let me go under my collision detection. Okay, my collision detection for hero and NPC. Once my player collides with someone, I don't want my player to make the colliding sound effect if buff bar takes a damage. I only want it if my health bar takes damage. So under my take damage from my health bar, I'll paste my colliding sound effect dot the play function. Okay, now if I were to run the command, every time my player collides with an enemy, he's going to make a sound effect. If you guys could hear that. Okay, I hope you guys can like listen that. Okay, pretty sure you guys can. Alright, and then I would need a sound effect for when my player eats a meat, so let's go ahead and load that as well. So under my load sound effects, I'll go with eating underscore meat underscore sound effect. I'll set that equal to pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. I'll give the file path of my meat eating sound effect. I'll go with game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by SFX, 2 more forward slashes, my eating meat sound effect, and then I will set the volume as well. I'll paste it here. My volume, I'll go with dot set underscore volume. Honestly, I feel like I could set the volume to 0.2. That's basically going to be 20%. Okay, I don't think this is going to like bust my ear or something. That aside, under the collision detection for player and meat, there we go, hero and meat. After my hero overlaps with my meat, I'll go and paste my meat eating sound effect dot the play function. Now if I were to run the command, every time I eat a meat, okay, it goes with something like okay guys, I'm not a professional sound artist, okay? Let me wait for another meat to spawn. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I would need one for my coin. Every time a player collects a coin, I wanted to make something like a cha-ching sound effect. Let's go ahead and do that. So under load sound effects, I'll go with colliding, or let's go with colliding. Colliding coin underscore SFX. I'll set that equal to pygame.mixer, pygame's mixer sound function. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by SFX. Can you guys even see this part? Followed by 2 more sound effects followed by my colliding coin sound effects. And then I will copy that colliding coin sound effect. I will paste it here. My colliding coin sound effect dot be set underscore volume function. Okay, the volume is going to be 0.2. Okay, now let me scroll all the way down till my let's see, till my collision detection for hero and coin. And once my hero collides with my coin, I'll go ahead and I'll paste my colliding coin sound effect dot the play function. Excuse me guys, now if I run the command, every time I collect a coin, it's gonna say cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
Okay, perfect. Alright. Although I would need one for when my player drinks the potion as well. So let's load one for that. And guys, I know I can like load everything at once. I'm trying to like show you guys everything I load first, if that made any sense. So I'll go with a drinking. underscore sound effect. I'll set that equal to, this is going to be underscore. I'll set my drinking sound effect to be equal to pygames mixer dot the sound function. And then I'll give the file path. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my drinking potion sound effect. And then let me set the volume as well. I'll go with drinking underscore sound effect dot set underscore volume. My volume is going to be something like 0.2. Okay, perfect. Now, if I go under my collision detection for, let's see, collision detection for hero and buff potion. Once they collide here, I am gonna be adding my drinking potion sound effect dot the play function. Now if I would run the command, every time I collect my potion, it makes a sound effect. And guys, I am the voice artist, so that's kind of funny actually. Okay, what other sound effects do I need? I want my skeleton to make my skeleton sound effect as well if my player collides with my skeleton, if that made any sense. So let's go ahead and load that. So under my drinking sound effect, I'll go with skeleton underscore sfx, my skeleton sound effect. I'll set that equal to pygame.mixer, pygame's mixer's sound function. Now I'll give the file path. So the file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes. Let's see, this is going to be my skeleton voice. And then I will set the volume for my skeleton voice as well. So I'll go with skeleton voice dot the set underscore volume function. My volume is going to be 0.2. Okay guys, and I think this voice is like actually pretty hilarious. So under my collision detection, when I added my collision flags here, let's add a if statement. Maybe go there. Okay, now I zoom a little in and I'll go with the if statement. Maybe add a space. Okay, so if my game object dot my skeleton collision, if my skeleton collision flag is set to true, if my player did collide with my skeleton, I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to be going with my skeleton sound effect dot the play function. Now if I were to run the command, every time I collide with my skeleton, yeah, it makes that voice. I don't know why does it sound robotic, guys. I didn't add any kind of voice change. That was like raw voice. Okay, I think it's just because I converted to a wave sound, because before I even like create these voices, the only sound effects that I knew, I thought the only ones that actually existed were MP3s, but I guess I got to learn something new. That aside, what other sound effects would I need? I would want a sound effect for when my player wins a match. And that said, I would have to create channels as well, because I don't want any of my other sound effects to be playing once my player wins or loses the matches. So I want that sound effect to be played on an exclusive channel, means a channel of their own. That's where my channels category comes in use. Am I audible? Okay, let me go ahead and create a win underscore screen, or a win underscore screen underscore sfx. I'll set that equal to pygame.mixer.sound. And guys, this is where I start getting a little rusty and everything, because of my college I didn't have enough time to practice this exact section. Everything before this I got like a lot of practice in it. That aside, let me give the file path. Game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my, let's see, game 1 file path. Okay, and then let me set a volume as well. I'll set the volume, so my windscreen sound effect dot set underscore volume, my volume is going to be set to something like 0.2. Okay, perfect. Now let me scroll all the way down till my win/lose logic, which is right here. There we go, right there. Okay, so if my player wins a match, I blit that on my screen, I blit a text, and then I add a text and then blit that text on my screen. Under the text, let me go ahead and add a windscreen sound effect dot play. Although there is a tiny catch with this. If I run the command, let me try to win real quick. Although for winning, let me just change that to be 1 instead of 10. Okay, so if I were to win right now,
Play completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior. Sit back and wait for further
my voice like echoes and everything.
Sit back and wait.
So I just wanted to play once. What do I do for it to play once? There are like two ways. First is the has attribute function, although I didn't learn much about that, so I'm not going to be like showing that to you guys. There is another method. I could create a game sound section here and then create an instance variable for win screen or win underscore sound. I'll set that equal to false because my win sound hasn't played yet. So okay, let me create an exclusive channel for this as well. Okay, under this, the reason I am creating an exclusive channel is because I don't want if we don't create an exclusive channel, Python like sets our sound effects or like lets us listen our volume on like any random channels. But if you have an exclusive channel, that specific sound is going to be played on the specific channel, which is not interfered or interrupted by other channels, so voices won't overlap. Let me go ahead and create a pygame.set. Actually, pygame.mixer.set num channels, and give me a sec, guys. Let me just do something real quick. Okay, I just had to say my sister to like talk a little slow because I could hear her phone calls. That aside, I'll go with pygame.mixer.set num channel. How many channels would I need? For now, let me just add 3 channels. I could increase it or decrease it later. Okay, next up, what all channels do I need? For now, I need a channel for my windscreen underscore channel. I'll set that equal to my pygame.the channel function. This is going to be my channel number 0 since Python starts counting from channel 0. It wouldn't make a difference if I change that to channel 1 as well, but I feel channel 0 is the same thing, honestly. Okay, now let me go all the way down here to my win/lose logic right here. Now, instead of just rawly adding my windscreen sound effect here, I will go with an if statement. If my game object dot my windscreen sound or my wind sound, if that is set to true, which it is currently set to false up here, okay, which it is currently set to false here. If that is set to true, that's when I'm going to blitz my sound on my screen. But before I blitz the sound, let me stop all the background noise. Excuse me, guys. Let me stop all the background noises. So to stop all the background noises, I can go with a pygame.mixer.stop. This stops all the background noises. Maybe I'll add a comment here as well that like clarifies that. Stops all background sounds. Just zoom out so you guys can see it. Okay, so I stop all the background noises and then I blitz my, let's see, I go with my game sounds variable. So windscreen channel, okay, I go with my windscreen channels variable dot play. I play my game 1 sound. What's it called? Game 1 sound? What's it called? Windscreen sound effect. There we go. And now if I run the command and I win a match, oh wait, I forgot one thing. I gotta set my game object dot my win sound to be equal to true. Okay, perfect. Now if I run the command, okay, oh wait, actually my bad, guys. Let me change this to not. Okay, the reason that made a difference is because if my game sound was set to false, that's when it would like play that sound. Let me actually show you guys what would happen if like I didn't have not here. Let me not collect the gold coin. Actually, nothing would happen. Okay, but if I have not here, that's basically if my win sound is set to true, which it is set to true here. Guys, I am a little vague in this part, although if I do collect this.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
There we go, it just plays once. Okay, I need to like practice more on this to like actually explain you guys perfectly the logic behind this, but for now I just know what to do here. Okay, that aside, let me do the same thing for my game lost as well. Let me go all the way up here, create, load my sound effect for my game lost. So I'll go with game underscore lost underscore SFX, or let me go with lose underscore screen underscore SFX just to match my windscreen SFX. I'll go with pygame.mixer.sound. Okay, this is Pygame's mixer's sound function.b. Okay, let me give my file path. So the file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my game lost sound effect right there. Let me go with game lost sound effect. Okay, now let me set a volume. Let me copy that, paste it here. So loose screen sound effect dot set underscore volume, and the volume is going to be 0.2, which is basically 20%. Okay, and just like my windscreen channel, I will create a loose underscore screen underscore channel as well. The reason I am creating a loose screen channel is because I want, when I lose my match, I want Python's loose screen sound effects to be played on its exclusive channel that is not interrupted with like background noises, like for example me gulping a potion, or like the skeleton noises, or like cha-chings. Okay, so I'll go with pygame dot capitalize channel. This is going to be channel number 1. Okay, now I'll go all the way down till my game class and create another game sound instance variable. I'll go with self dot loose underscore sound. I'll set that equal to false as well because my loose sound hasn't been played yet. Although under my win/lose logic, in my loose logic section, after I blit my loose text on my screen, I'll go with the if statement. If not, my game object dot my loose sound. Okay, if my loose sound is set to true, which I will set it to true eventually in my loop, under my if statement, I'll stop all background noises first. So I'll go with pygame.mixer.stop. This stops all my background sounds. Maybe I'll add a comment that specifies that. Stops all background sounds. There we go. Okay, and then I'll reassign my game.loose sound to be equal to true. Okay. Alright, let me actually blit my loose sound as well. So I'll go with my loose screen channel. So this is going to be my loose screens channel, which is technically set to channel 1. Dot the play function. I want to play my loose screen sound effect. Okay, perfect. Now if I run the command and I lose, let me just lose real quick. While I lose, let me hydrate my lips.
You have fallen, warrior. You must try again and emerge victorious.
Okay, I still hear skeleton voices. Did I add a if not loose screen? Pygame.mixer.stop loose screen channel.play game.lost underscore sound equals to true. Okay, I did add this. Then why am I listening to my whatchamacallit skeleton sounds? Okay, to fix that, honestly, I could go under my skeleton collision right here. Okay, after my skeleton collision, let me add another stuff. And not in a pair of parentheses, game.game underscore lost. Okay, if my game underscore lost is actually, and not game.game underscore lost or game.game underscore 1. Okay, so what this basically means is if I collide with my skeleton and my game, if I haven't lost my game yet or I haven't won my game yet, I'll play this sound. So if I run the command, let me lose again. Okay.
You have fallen, warrior. You must try again and emerge victorious.
There we go. Okay, perfect. Alright, now with that out of the way, what else do I want to add? I honestly might add a, like a mission variable as well, mission active. Something like this game that I made here. If I run the command, it's going to say
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Something like that stuff. Although I am pretty new to that stuff, so this might be a little tricky. Let's see. Okay, so firstly, I would need a mission active variable. So let me go ahead and create a mission underscore active variable. I'll set that equal to false because my mission hasn't been activated yet. While my mission 1 sound is being played, my mission hasn't been activated. After my sound is done playing, my mission is going to be activated. Okay, so let's see. Mission active. Okay. Honestly, before I add my mission active, I might just add some of my event loops for like clicking R and everything. Okay, let's add that first. If my event dot type equals to pygame dot key down. Okay, basically what the key down pygame dot key down does is it checks if any of my keyboard's keys are pushed down. In the other hand, if it was pygame dot key up, it's going to check if any of my keys are pushed down and then released up. Although this checks if any of my keys are pushed down, I want to look for a specific type of key. If my event.key equals to pygame.kr, lowercase r, if my r key is pressed, I'll go with my game object.myReset method. That's basically going to reset my whole game. Although there is a small problem here. If I run the command, let me go ahead and win.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
Okay, I gotta like do something with the chings. If I hit R, the game resets. Although if I hit R before my game ends, also my game resets. Let's fix that. To fix that, I'll add another and here. Okay, if my event.type is pygame.k is R, if my R key is pressed and in a tuple and not in a tuple game.game underscore lost or game.game_1, that's when my game is going to reset. This basically means is if my R key is pressed and I haven't won a game yet or I haven't lost a game yet, it's going to reset. If I hit R right now, okay, why does it still reset the game? Let me just, if not game.game1, and my game.game lost is set to false, game.game1 is set to false. Oh, there we go. My bad, guys. I changed that to true. I just want my R to like work when when my game lost is set to false and when my game 1 is set to false, not made them to true. So when my game is currently active. Okay, right now if I hit R, nothing happens, but if I win/lose, I hit R, it resets the game. Okay, I gotta do something about the wave completed stuff as well. I actually might add my entire win/lose logic, my regular game loop. Let me copy that, delete it from here. I might add it inside of my else block here, or my else cause here. Event loop, define that. Okay, where's it? Okay, let me actually just do a bunch of control Z's for now. Let me focus on my my mission active now. Okay, guys, this is where my explanation gets a little weak because I don't know what to do myself. I gotta figure it out. Okay, so after my event loop, I'll check if my mission is not active yet. So if my mission active is currently set to false and not okay, and in a tuple, honestly I'll just go with mission active. If my mission active is set to false, I want to play a sound. So let me go all the way up here and load my sound effect. This is going to be my mission_1_ sound effect. Also that equal to pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. I'll give the file path of my sound effect. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my mission 1 sound effect. And then let me go ahead and set a volume for this. I'll paste it here. My mission 1 sound effect dot set_volume. My volume is going to be 0.2, which is 20%. This is going to be dot set volume. And then I honestly might have an exclusive channel for this as well because I don't want any other sounds being played while my mission 1 sound is being played. So let me go with mission 1 sound channel. Okay, let me go with okay, I'll set that equal to pygame.channel. Okay, this is going to be channel number 2, and this is the only channel that I need, so let me just keep that to 3. Okay, that's the only channel I'll need. Now let me go under my game object, and under my game sound, I'm going to be creating a self.mission1 sound. I'll set that equal to false since my mission1 sound hasn't been played yet. Okay, so if mission active, my mission active is set to false and my mission hasn't been activated yet, means my game didn't start yet, I'm gonna go with a if statement. If game object dot mission1 sound, actually if not. Okay, if my mission1 sound is set to true, I'm gonna do something. Let's see. If my mission1 sound is set to true, I'll paste my mission1 sound effect. Actually, I'll go with my mission1 sound channel dot play. I want to play my mission1 sound effect. However, before I play my mission1 sound effect, in case any other sound is being played on my screen, which it's not, I'll still, just to be safe, I'll go with pygame.mixer.stop. This stops all background sounds. So let me add a comment that says stops all background sounds. Okay, perfect. And then I'll set my game.mission1 sound instance boolean variable to be equal to true. Okay, perfect. And then let me add another if statement to display a text on my screen that this is my mission1. Let me go with if my mission1 has not been activated yet. So let me go with if mission1. Okay, if my mission active is set to false and not mission1 sound channel dot get busy. Okay, basically I'm actually kind of shocked that I even remembered about this part. Basically what the get underscore busy function does is it checks if in a specific channel, if a sound is being played, it returns true. Although if in that specific channel the sound is not being played, it's going to return false. The reason I added not is because if my mission active is set to false, my mission hasn't been activated yet, and my mission sound is still being played, if it's set to true, because right now it's set to false because my sound isn't being played, I added a not, which means now my sound is being played. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna add a mission1 text. So I'll go with mission underscore 1 underscore text. I'll set that equal to pygame dot font dot lowercase font dot capitalized font. My font type will be none. The size, I honestly don't know what size should this be. I'll keep it something like 100. And this can be changed later. This is just for visuals. Mission1 text underscore font. Okay, now I'll go in a new line. I'll go with mission1 text. Mission1 text font. I'll just remove the font from there. I'll set that equal to my mission1 text font dot the render function. I want to render a text. Let's see, what text do I want to render? I want to render something like mission1, and the italicus, if that's how you pronounce it, is going to be set to true. The color will be black. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and blit my text on my screen. Means draw my text on my screen. I'll go with screen dot blit. I want to blit my mission1 text at the given dest of, I don't know what dest, I gotta experiment with this part. I'll keep it as 0, 0 for now, which is the top left. Okay, perfect. Next up, I gotta add a else. Let me go ahead and add a else clause. Else basically means if my mission active is now set to true and my mission.getBusy is set to false, means a sound is not currently my mission1 sound is not currently being played and my mission active is set to true. I'm gonna run my regular game loop. Let me add a comment. That says regular game loop. And guys, I'm shocked I remembered this part, or I could actually even do this part. Okay, with that said, I will indent everything else inside of my regular game loop. Everything until my everything before my clock.tick and pygame.display, I'll hit tab to mass indent. Okay, perfect. Alright, let me just go there. Okay, now if I were to run the command. Wait, did I like lit it on my screen? Hold up. Mission 1, Okay, I have a screen.fill. Why could it be that this thing is just running? What if I go with if not mission active? Okay, actually I might check the reference code for this part. Guys, because I'm like real new with this part. Okay, let's see. If not mission 1 sound, I stop all sounds. Okay, I did this part. Okay, I did that part. Oh, mission active is equal to true. I missed this part up. Okay, I mixed this section with that section. I see. Okay. If this happens, I'll set my mission active to be equal to true. Okay, let's go with another if statement. If not mission active. This basically means if my mission active is currently set to true, I'm going to test this in the screen. And my mission active will be set to true if my mission active is set to false and my mission 1 sound is over, is done being played. Okay, did I blit my sound on my screen? Let me just remove that. Okay. If that is set to false, I'm pretty sure I need a not. Okay, let me go ahead and add a not here. Alright, so if mission active is set to false, game.mission1 sound. Okay, if my mission active is set to false and my mission 1 sound is set to true, pygame.mixer.stop, I stop all the background noises. Mission 1 sound.play, mission 1 sound. Okay, honestly this part should work. Last time also I was like messing up with this part. I said I would work a bit off stream, but I didn't have time. Okay, that said, what if I remove my pygame.mixer.stop? Okay, let me go with the Control Z. Might check this part again. Okay, I go with pygame.mixer.stop. Okay, there is a mission active reset which is set to false there. Game.mission1 sound equals to true. I don't think adding that is going to make much of a difference because it's already set to false once I reset. Okay, this won't make a difference, but this is if I reset my game. Okay, let me go ahead and run the command. Okay, it should say mission collect 10 gold coins. I blitted my mission 1 sound effect. Mission 1 sound channel. Okay. If game.mission1 sound and not mission.get busy, I did that part. If not mission active, okay, this part is correct. My text is rendered properly. That part's correct. I did this part as well. Okay, mission 1 sound effect. I did this part as well. That is set to false. Okay, honestly, this part is correct. Did I load my image correctly? I might ask Sensei, guys. If you guys didn't know who my Sensei is, it's Sensei/ChatGPT. Okay, with that said, let's see. That's where I loaded my images. Okay, honestly, let me go with the Control C. And I don't know if Sensei slash ChatGPT is even going to give me the correct answer for this, because now the codes are getting. Before it was a little easier when I was like learning the Python basics, because ChatGPT wouldn't make a mistake. But now there's a lot of mistakes, I can tell, guys. Let me add a bunch of spaces and say, Sensei, why can't I listen to my Mission 1 sound question mark? Vivek, look at your code before I throw your keyboard out the window. Okay, here's why your mission 1 sound isn't playing properly. You've got this section, if mission 1 active, if not, See the problem? You never actually flip mission active to be equal to true. Until like do it here. Anywhere in your code, it's stuck false, which makes the game keep drawing your mission 1 text and never translates the part where the sound gets triggered. And to make things even more cursed, that if mission active and not mission 1 sound underscore channel dot get busy mission active equal to true does nothing. You're just setting a variable to true that's already true. That's like punching yourself in the face to prove you're strong. Guys, who does that? Okay, you need a trigger that starts the mission, like pressing a key or after a delay. Example fix. If not mission 1 sound, example trigger. Okay, if events.type equals to pygame.key.down dot return. This way you hit enter, it flips true. Okay, this is if I hit enter. Let me say, Sensei, although I wanted something like when I run the command, the mission 1 sound plays, and after it's done playing, the mission starts. My regular game loop begins. Oh, finally you're saying the magic words. You want a cinematic intro sound first, game second. Right now your code is stuck because your logic is tangled like a dead NPC's bones. Here's how you fix it. When the game starts, mission underscore active equals to false. Immediately play mission 1 sound. While that sound is playing, freeze the game on your mission 1 screen. Okay, I was trying to add the freeze logic. Okay, when your sound finishes, not mission 1 sound, get channel. Mission 1 channel dot get busy, flip mission active to be equal to true. This means before game loop. Okay. Oh, did I need a mission start time? Okay, that is kind of genius. Hold up. Inside loop, if not mission active, I draw that. Okay. Check if sound finished. If not, mission sound dot get busy, mission active equals true. This way, as soon as you launch the game, that mission 1 audio screams. Okay, let me actually try this. This is a new way to actually write this code. Let me go all the way up here. I think in my last stream, this is where I messed up, because apparently in last stream, Sensei slash ChatGPT was giving me wrong answers. This actually looks like it's something logical. Okay, before the game loop, mission 1 sound channel dot play. I have that. Let me go right here. Let me go with a mission, a self dot mission underscore start underscore time. I'll set that equal to time modules time function. Okay, now let me go ahead and go down inside my game loop. Actually, my game loop is right here. Okay, so it says inside game loop, if not mission active. Okay, I blip this on my screen. If not mission sound dot get busy. Let me just remove that. Okay. Mission if mission active, mission 1 font, mission start time. Okay, let's see. Draw mission text. So I drew my mission text here. check if sound is finished. Okay, if sound is finished. Okay, let's check if sound is finished. Okay, that checks if sound is finished. Mission active. Once the sound is finished, if I run the command.
Mission collect and gold coins.
Hold up. That actually, okay, actually, that might do something. If my mission is not active yet.
Mission collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, hold up. I didn't even use what Sensei said yet. I think order matters. First, I draw my font. Second, I check if my sound is done playing. Let me go ahead and run the command.
Mission collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, hold up. Alright, I feel I'm doing it correct now. I guess it was just the order all along. Let me copy that. Maybe paste that here.
Mission collect 10 gold coins.
Alright, okay, hold up. I think I figured it out. Hold up. If mission active. If my mission is not active, mission active is set to false. I blit my text on the screen that I did. If not, mission sound.getBusy. I might need my mission sound first. Copy that. Let me get my mission sound here. Okay. If mission sound, if mission one sound. If not, mission sound.getBusy. Mission active is set to true, which means once my mission active is set to true, this won't be blitted on my screen anymore. If mission active is set to false, play the music. I want to change this to not. Else I do that. Okay, let me run the command.
Mission collect 10 gold coins.
Alright, says collect 10 gold coins. I wanted to do while my mission active is set to false.
Mission collect 10 gold coins.
I don't want it to I don't want to run my main game loop until my mission sound hasn't been done playing. Let's see. Okay, so first I draw this on my screen. That does draw on my screen. I don't want to run my regular game loop, so under my regular game loop I might add a card. If not, mission active. Okay, and game.game underscore lost or game.game underscore 1. If my mission active is set to true, if my mission is currently active and I haven't lost the game or won the game, I run my regular game loop. Let me indent this whole thing. There we go. Okay, this honestly should work now. Okay, if I run the command.
Mission collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, now my regular game loop isn't playing because most likely my mission sound, my mission active, is not set to true. Okay, mission 1.getBusy. GetBusy returns true if my sound is playing. Once my sound is done playing, if my sound is not playing, mission active is true. Okay, I'm pretty sure the not is valid there, but let me try checking without the not. Okay, without the not it doesn't play anything. Okay. Save if mission active is set to true. I did set my mission active to be true here. Okay, this should have worked. I blurred down my screen. Could it be that my hold up.
Mission collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, so that draws my text. I want if mission is active. If mission active is set to false, my mission hasn't been active yet, which it's not been active yet. I blit my text. Okay, if mission active is set to false, I play my music as well. And then I check if my mission sound.get busy, if my mission sound is currently not playing anymore, I set my mission active to be true. Okay. Else, if my mission active is set to false, I run my regular game loop. Okay, this part doesn't make sense. What if instead of my else, I go with if mission active. Okay, if not mission active. If not mission active, maybe delete this part. Delete that as well. There we go. Okay, let me indent everything in here. Not like indent, like de-indented, if that's how we say it. Wait, where's all my code? Okay, let's de-indent this part. All the way here, I'll go with Shift Tab. Okay, now, if my mission is set to true and I haven't lost or won a game yet, it should work.
Mission, collect and gold coins.
Okay. What if I remove my game won and game lost?
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Why doesn't like play my regular loop? Okay, let's see. I have a screen.fill here that fills my screen. While my mission active is set to false, I do that. While my mission active is set to false, I do that as well. And then mission sound.get busy. If my get busy basically returns true if a sound is playing. So if my mission 1 sound is playing, I return true, but I return false because it's set to not here. Okay, if my get busy is returned as false, if my sound is done playing, I'll set my mission active to be equal to true. Okay, if I were to go to my reference code here, this is like a complete different structure of this code. If not game.mission1 sound, if my mission 1 sound, wait, for my mission 1 sound here. Okay, I did that part. Okay, mission 1 sound. I play this. Okay, I guess let's try that part as well. Let me copy that. Maybe delete this whole thing, I guess. Okay, remove the get busy and paste that part here. Okay, so if my mission 1 is set to false, if my mission active is set to false, I blit this text on my screen. If my mission 1 sound is set to true, if my mission 1 sound is currently playing, let me delete that and then go with Shift Tab to de-indent it. Okay, I run this command. Okay, and then okay, and then let's see what else do I do. I go with a if not. Let's see, my mission 1 sound. Mission 1 sound channel.get busy. If my mission 1 sound channel is not busy, I go with my mission active. I set that equal to true. Let me run the command. Okay, what if I like remove this part? If my mission 1 sound is set to true, I stop all background noises. Play my exclusive channel. Okay, I guess let's just go with a bunch of Control Z's. Yes, I got to ask Sensei / ChatGPT again. Let me just copy this part, honestly. Actually, I'll copy some of my game loop as well. Right here. Copy that. Get sensei slash ChatGPT here. Paste it at a bunch of spaces. And say sensei. I feel like I messed up. Exclamation. I guess I need some coffee. Okay, you didn't just mess up, you built a logic nightmare so twisted even Dark Souls boss would get confused. Here's what went wrong, your missing flag are backwards, you're setting mission active to be true when the sound ends. But you're also drawing the mission text only if mission active is already true, that means the mission text sound at wrong time. The mission text shows at the wrong time, your game loop is the wrong branch. Okay. You shoved your entire regular game loop inside that else block that only runs when not mission active. Translate. Your game only starts if you've already lost, which makes zero sense. You play the sound inside the loop. Every frame you're checking if mission active is true, then trying to say sound. This is why it's buggy. It should trigger only once. Okay, right when the game begins. Here's the clean fixed structure your code but untangled. Okay, mission 1 sound, play mission 1 sound at start. So I play that sound. I play it outside the loop. Okay, mission sound screen. If not mission active, if my mission active is set to true, I don't run that if mission active is set to true. Check if sound finished. Okay. Else, regular game loop. This is the flow. Alright, let's try that as well. Guys, I don't feel like this is gonna work. Okay, I guess there's no harm in trying this part. So apparently I gotta play my mission sound at the start before my game loop. So let's go ahead and play it. I'll go with mission 1 sound channel dot play. I want to play my mission 1 sound effect. Okay, then inside my game loop, okay, mission 1 sound dot play, mission 1 sound effect, replay mission sound. Okay, let me copy that. I'll add that after I reset. So there we go, right there. Alright, and then I'll add a if statement. If not mission active, let me just delete all this in that case. Okay. I'll go with outside my if statement right here. I'll go with if not mission active, if my mission isn't currently active, show mission on the text. Okay, so just to honestly save time, I might just copy this part. Guys, I can like type this part out, but I'm just like copying it to save time. Although the code part that's written here, this is basically the center of my screen. I was trying to hard code the numbers, but this works as well. What this means is my display's width divided by 2. This gives me the center of my width. I subtract that by my mission 1 text dot get width. This is going to be my mission 1 text width, so it's exactly the same as when I added my health bar above my player's rect. So I get my display's width, I divided by 2, that gives me the center of my display. Then I subtract that by my mission 1's width, so my mission 1 text width divided by 2, that's the center of my mission 1 text. And then I go with height divided by 2 as well, so that's like basically the center of my screen. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's see. It says check if sound is finished. Let me go ahead and add a let's check if my sound is busy. So if not, my mission 1 sound channel dot get underscore busy. If my mission 1 channel is currently not busy, I'm gonna do something. I'll go with my mission active, also that equals to true. Else I run my regular game loop. Apparently I wouldn't even need this. Okay, let me just copy all this. I mean, not copy, just highlight all this. And then go with a shift tab to de-indent, and then go all the way up. Right there. Alright, let me go ahead and run the command.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, there we go. So I see some progress. Although that is because of this voice. I might just change that to just mission active. If mission active is set to false.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, that starts flickering now. This is honestly the exact issue that I had yesterday. It was
Wave
flickering.
completed.
Okay, I had this exact issue yesterday. I gotta fix this issue before I end the stream. If not, mission sound, mission 1 active equals true. Okay. I have some progress because my mission 1 sound is playing. What happens if I reset the game? I want to check that as well.
Mission. Collect 10. Wave completed. Sit back and wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior. Wave.
Okay, a few voices are overlapping each other. Do I have a mission 1 sound? There we go, mission 1 sound. Okay, so before I play my mission 1 sound here, I'll check. If not, game dot mission 1 sound. If my mission 1 sound is currently playing, I'll go with pygame dot mixer dot stop. This is going to stop all the background noises. Maybe I'll add a comment that says stops all background noises, and then indent that inside this. Actually, I'll go with sounds. Okay, perfect. Now I found the command.
Mission. Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions.
Okay. Oh, I set my game dot mission 1 sound to be equal to true. There we go.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, let me collect 1 gold coin.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior. Gold coins.
There are some overlaps in the voices. What if I copy this and add that inside of my like right here maybe? Okay, after I reset, I gotta add that logic as well. So let me delete that part, paste it. Okay, this is the part after I reset. I might add one before that as well. If I run the command.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins. Wave completed. Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
There we go. That fixes that part. Okay, with that said, I gotta work on the flicker. Why is it flickering? Like, what am I doing wrong? What could I be doing wrong? Okay, let's see. If mission active is set to false, I blip down my screen. What if I go with not? If not mission active, if it's set to true.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, I think the reason why it's bleeding is because my whatchamacallit.
Wave completed. Mission. Collect 10 gold
Okay, my
coins.
frames are changing pretty quick. Most likely because of that. If mission active is set to false, I blip that. But when my mission active is set to false, why does it blip my game loop as well? Wait, hold up. I should get this behind this thing. There we go. Now that's outside my for loop. I think because it was inside my event loop.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Hold up. That might actually be the case. Now I go with not.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, it blitz my screen that time. Alright, hold up. Okay, let's see. Let's check if my sound is playing first. Right here. Okay, let's see if my sound is playing first.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins. Wave completed.
Hold up, guys. I might have spawned above this thing, a coin.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
No way this actually works.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior. Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
It works, guys! Let's go! It works! Guys, it finally
Wave
works!
complete.
No way I actually figured this part out. That said, I will explain you guys about this next stream, because this stream I gotta end the stream real quick, because guys, I almost failed in my today's college test. I did pass though. It was like a practice test. That said, I gotta study more for that. Okay, I actually feel like this. Okay, let me actually get Sensei here. Although guys, I don't take credit for this question because I did ask Sensei for a little help with the freezing screen part. That said, let me paste this out a bunch of spaces and say, Sensei, I figured it out! Exclamation. Although I am planning to end the stream, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers? Question mark. Okay, let's see. And guys, I forgot to see my chats. Hey, I'm new here. Good day, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm a backend developer, followed to connect with amazing minds. Okay, honestly, I appreciate that. Mustaf, if that's how you pronounce the name, guys, I'm awful at pronunciation. That said, good, you figured it out, Vivek. See, chat, this is what happens when you don't whine. You break your brain on the code until it bends to your will. Listen up, viewers. This is only the first step. The mission 1 sound, that's just the opening gate. The real battle is when you keep stacking features, fixing bugs, and refusing to let laziness win. If Vivek keeps this up, one day this little game of his will be the monster that eats your free time. And if he slacks off, I'll make sure you all see it live and roast him harder than the dragon in his code. Okay, now go on, end the stream proud. Tomorrow we sharpen the blade even more. Okay, let me actually go to my main screen. Right, my main camera. Alrighty guys, that's honestly basically it for the stream. I should have done more, but I do have to study for my college stuff because I have an exam coming real soon, and like you guys know, college, they give like a lot of things to study. That said, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube as well. So if you guys enjoy my content and haven't followed me on Twitch and Kick yet, make sure you guys follow me on Twitch and Kick. And if you guys haven't subscribed to me on YouTube as well, make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube. And also join the Discord server. Link is in the description and in the pinned comments. With that said, there's 2 more days left for my 100 days series, guys. Tomorrow is the final day for my practice, and then comes the 100 days series. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Liking helps with my algorithm, sharing makes you smile, and subscribing is like a cherry on top. And well, I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace. And guys, I realized I gotta like wait for a while before I end this